In my first rebuild in college football 27, we are using the Florida State Seminoles, and they are very much a work in progress. And this is an interesting team because Mike Norvell comes in from Memphis, kind of up and down at Memphis, but some really high highs. He gets the Florida State job, and it's kind of off to a rocky start, as expected. Really tough to rebuild a Power 5 program, but obviously the Seminoles have been great in the past. And then they have the whole tragedy with going undefeated and not making the college football playoff after the Jordan Travis injury, and then complete downhill slide. They've been spiraling, only 5-7 in 2025, but the resources, as you'll come to find in college football 27, are about as good as anybody. I still think Recruiter is maybe not as good as it was in college football 25 at all, but it might be the way to go because scouting could be really important in college football 27. And I can only think of one man that's right for the job. That's right, it's yours truly, Gene Dangus. We're back. We're rebuilding Florida State and hopefully turning this team into a national champion. So what's different this year is you have AD expectations, of course, from the athletic director. The bottom right, you can see that you have different impacts and different rewards. So beating Florida, big time rival, very important. And it's really bad if you don't beat them. But we also need to be ranked in the top 15 at any point in the season and then maintain national powerhouse facilities for the next 3 seasons. All of these things are really going to cost money. You can see the up and down trajectory of Mike Norvell over on the left. But Gene Dangus taking over, and hopefully we can turn this team around. So this is the time when you can hire staff and manage your blueprint. It's all about dynasty points this year, which is essentially NIL. It's your money. How do you manage that? You've got to make some tough choices because you can't really do everything you want. Obviously, some of the bigger schools, you're going to be able to do that. It's going to be very, very difficult to rebuild 1- and 2-star programs this year. It really, really challenging. But you can use your NIL to do things like upgrade your sports performance department, which will give you a 20% off-season progression increase. However, that costs $17.50, what I'll call NIL. It's really, really expensive, which is going to be a lot of your roster. So can you pay for players, or do you have to pay for your upgrades? Although, and this is as new to me as it is going to be to you guys, is it a good idea to hire a senior director of player personnel to reduce NIL expectations by 30%? I feel like that could be a good idea. So players are going to end up asking for certain amounts of NIL. It's going to be sometimes 0 for some players, although rare, 5, 25, but also up into the hundreds, 3, 4, 5, maybe even 600. So it's going to be really expensive to get those upper echelon players and also keep them on your team. I'm telling you, it's going to be a really, really big challenge this year. I'm going to try. Let's get the senior director of player personnel, and hopefully that will end up paying off in a big way. Make players cheaper overall with a upfront payment. That's the idea. So an upfront payment, I think, could be the way to go. And as we go to the recruiting board, I don't think I'm going to be doing a whole lot of going after 35 high-quality players this year. I think it's going to be more in the range of maybe about 10 players that I would really like to get, and then fill out the rest of the roster with, under-recruited players. That's kind of the diamonds in the rough that you're going to consistently be trying to find. And it's going to be very expensive to go after the 5 stars. If you sort by NIL here, it's 155 skill points or NIL points here for a 5-star quarterback. Think about trying to fill out a roster with all that. If you are Florida State and you get to start out with, let's say, 3,700, okay, that's more doable. But if you're going to start with Sacramento State, your budget might be 250. So it's going to be very, very tough to make the appropriate decisions to build out your roster. But here at Florida State, we actually might have the ability to go after some of these top-tier prospects. Well, the first thing we're going to do is check out the actual Florida State roster and sort by positions. You can see what you're currently paying these guys, as the current cost of Deuce Robinson, who could be a future first-round pick in the NFL, $295. And it gets more expensive than that when you're talking about, quarterbacks, of course. If they're a top-tier transfer player, they're going to be really, really expensive. Texas transfer, I'll throw the horns up, Quintravion Wiesner, no longer a place for the Longhorns, but goes to Florida State, gets a lot of money, and who knows what the Seminole team could do. They could maybe exceed expectations. But I think we know that Ashton Daniels is not the future of this team. He's a redshirt senior. He's not even an 80 overall. I think the best move might be to develop one of these younger quarterbacks, probably one of the freshmen. They only have impact development trait, so not tremendous, but there are some good things to work with. And with the championship contender deal breaker for Kevin Sperry, I can't guarantee that we're going to be good this year. I'm thinking maybe Shane Willow could be the starter. So Googling Shane Willow was not helpful at all. At all. It's not a real player. I went down a rabbit hole I didn't even expect to go down, but it's not a real player. Kevin Sperry is, and of course they don't have licenses to use everybody, but I still think that might be the best move for us. We still also could recruit a quarterback. Wisner's not going to be here for a long time. Usman Chroma is only a sophomore, so this could be our running back of the future, but I think Wisner might start this year. Winning is still going to be incredibly important because if you win, your budget goes up, gives you more freedom to actually build a team. So winning is paramount, as it always is. I also think building around Mandrell Desir could be a good idea. Only a sophomore up to an 84 overall. But Chroma's got star dev. I think it's going to be important to build around some of these guys. He's one of the few. Redshirt freshman Kevin Wynn, also star dev. Star dev for Charles Lester, redshirt sophomore corner. You want to build around these high dev trait players, but we really only have 4 of them. The best way to go out and get some more is by recruiting well, finding diamonds in the rough, and we'll see if we can do that. So I was going to go after Michael Orr's brother here, Teddy, but unfortunately, he is the 270th ranked player in the class. Got to scroll a long way to get to him at offensive tackle, and he still wants 100 NIL. It's just too much, right? So you're going to have to be smart about who you actually go after. And certain players, obviously, it's going to be worth spending the money. For others, maybe not. It's also worth mentioning that NIL can be lower if your deal breaker is in a really good position. So even if they're really good, it doesn't mean they're necessarily going to be really expensive. It's a combination of things. There are also athlete speed rushers this year, which was something I was happy to find. Okay, so Bryce Beckett might be worth going after. The expected NIL is high. He's a 5-star quarterback, but 95 throw power, great accuracy, very good overall athleticism. That might be our quarterback. Or we'll try. Okay, well, Thad Merrill's pretty good too. That's a pocket passer with decent speed. He's got some really good mental abilities. And then Micah Cantwell also, I call him Micah Kenwell. He looks pretty good. What can't this guy do? Well, I don't know. Also, it's worth noting that you can't offer scholarship like in the first week like you used to be able to. Now when offering scholarships, you wait until the actual regular season, and then when you offer, you can change the NIL offer. I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, 98 speed, 96 acceleration, a bump and run corner. He is a 5-star. He looks like one, that's for sure. And there are some interesting players. Percy Balaj has 88 speed as a signal caller weak side linebacker. Might be tough to compete against Florida and others, but I definitely still want to go after good players, even if it is going to be a bit harder and certainly more expensive this year. A power rusher with 88 strength, 89 acceleration, 80 speed, 85 tackle. Juan Scales, another bad pun incoming. You can click off the video. Could tip the scales in our favor if we get him on campus. That could be the move. Bieniemy could tip back something else. 7th right now. One of the top defensive tackles in the class. Gap specialist that can actually rush the quarterback. A lot of these prospects look really good. And I'll say, if ever there was a time to take chances, it's the first rebuild of the year. I'm also going to go for the recruiting hours increase. This is the last time to do anything like this. Plus 40% in recruiting hours. That sounds like it could be worth $1,500 in NIL. So we're going to try that as well. So we'll see what happens with that. I think recruiting hours are still going to be important. I just also feel like NIL is going to be king this year. We'll see if that's the case. And of course, Desir, due to championship contenders already trying to get out, well, we're just going to have to prove them wrong. Just going to go out and hopefully win some games. So what was I talking about with scholarships? Well, now you can offer scholarships. It still costs the same like amount of hours. However, well, I guess different than last year, but it still does cost hours. But the scholarship offer now changes everything. So this is NIL, 2,100 Dynasty points remaining after this offer, of course, will change. If you go under what their expected NIL is, their feedback will be disinterested, right? All the way into very disinterested. So that, of course, could include the player potentially locking you out along with other negative consequences on the recruiting trail. If you go above, of course, they could get very excited about that and really move you up. But of course, it's going to be more expensive. So you're really going to have to manage with what you think makes sense. And you can really go after players that you really, really want. Might make sense to pay a bunch of money and say, get this guy really excited about being a Seminole. Or you could take the gamble, take the risk. I do think Bryce Beckett is worth taking a gamble on. 220 skill points, dynasty points, NIL. He's interested in that. But that's a lot of our NIL already out the window. Now, you can edit that later and turn that down if you want a little bit of wiggle room. You're not entirely locked in. But because our grades are good, because he's a 5-star gem, because we're going up against some other really big schools, we're going to have to pay for a player like that. And that's where a lot of our NIL is going to go. And of course, we're also going to send the house because the recruiting hours per week still matter. It's just the NIL really matters. And we'll see if this is the case. But the new move might not be offering these guys scholarships right away. You might want to recruit them the way every other school is doing. And then when you feel like you're in a pretty good position, maybe then give them the scholarship offer, which I think mimics real life a little bit more. But a lot of the top guys in real life get offered like years before. So it's a mixed bag. Also, of course, I said at the start of the video, I was going to only add like 10 or 15 players. Well, in the scouting portion preseason, that's where you can add a bunch of targets and find out a bunch about them. But then when you're actually recruiting, it is probably just a smarter decision to put more recruiting hours into fewer players. So as you can see, we're starting with a big school. National powerhouse facility grade. Like this is the pinnacle. This is the peak of what you can actually accomplish. As you can see, the progression will match at the national powerhouse grade, plus 16% progression comparatively to a competitive facility, which is plus 0%. That's not great. So you have to upgrade a long way if you're starting from a lower tier school. You know, it's a big advantage here to be Florida State. And there are a bunch of different add-ons and equipment that you can do that will increase the longevity of your facility. But otherwise, you do have to upkeep it. And that's expensive. But you can see the way the budget works here. And I've already offered scholarships on the right side towards, I think, some of the bigger recruits that we want to get. But that's going to change a lot over the course of the season. I'm not even sure where we're going to be with a lot of these recruitments. A lot of it is just a wait and see. First game of the year, we got the chop going. I know it seems like only New Mexico State, right? But every single opponent on your resume is going to be important at the end of the year when it comes to making the college football playoff. So everyone on your schedule builds up that resume. You're going to want to win these games. Of course, we're playing the moments here to start. And already up 7-0. That's what this should look like against New Mexico State. We do have some talent here. Going with Daniels as the starter for week 1, just because he's actually on the team and we're probably going to look to replace the quarterback anyway. But obviously, things can change. First look at Ashton Daniels. Usman Chroma is the tailback. Deuce Robinson out wide left. Will we get him the football? I don't think so. We're going to Wade Boggs. Don't check his first name. I always forget that coaching tips are on by default to start. Listen, they've obviously never seen me play, but I don't need any tips. I'm one of the most accomplished coaches in the history of the sport here. As we're going to find Deuce Robinson over the middle. Again, this is a team that we should beat up on. So let's do that. Here is Trey Wisner into the backfield. We're going to cut. We're going to go up the middle. And Trey Wisner in for the score. 14-0 Noles pending the point after. The Gene Dangus era is officially alive and well. 50 seconds to go down the field and score. Do we just throw a jump ball to Deuce Robinson? He's got, looks like Heisman level 50-50 unlocked. It's a good release off the line, but he's kind of being doubled up. We got room to run here with Daniels. It's a very good run. He's playing a little bit hurt, though. 3 rushes for 81 yards. Hitting cardio, and that's for sure. Dude, they're doubling Deuce Robinson. We have other ways to beat you. I just want to use Deuce. They're not letting me. We might have one-on-one. It's underthrown. Deuce Robinson, go up and get it. Look at Heisman 50-50 activating. Deuce Robinson puts us down at the 11-yard line. We're going hurry up. We're going to hopefully find him for a touchdown. Boggs could be open as well, or he could lead that boundary safety away from Deuce Robinson. Didn't really happen. Daniels on the move, maybe has just enough speed. Wisner with the block. Daniels knocked out at the 3. High point. Robinson wide open. Touchdown, Knowles. That one's going to do it here in Tallahassee. We'll start 1-0. I know I said that in the second quarter, but it was a foregone conclusion. 31-0 is your final. We are 1-0. And now you can see some of the scholarship offers coming in. We're in a pretty good position right now for Bryce Beckett, but competing against Texas, Clemson, Ole Miss, Tennessee could end up being quite difficult, especially with Tennessee having that 4-star pipeline. But I like where we are right now. We've given Bryce Beckett a lot of money. Not to say that these other schools won't, but I like where we are right now. Things obviously could certainly change, but, you know, sometimes you got to pay to play. And it seems to be working out for us here early, even without scholarships on certain players. Man, this is going to be an important game too. SMU opening up the year ranked in the top 25, have yet to play a game. If we can manage to steal this one, and they're not rated that high, this could be a big win. Are these teams just going to continue to double Deuce Robinson? Oh my goodness. We actually had a chance to get down the field, but pressure got in there before we could really get everything on that throw. Robinson still almost made the catch. I feel like we have ability to win on the outside here. And there's Danzy. Got a chance. Cannot reel it in. So the deep shot's not necessarily working here in the rain. Oh, Wisner's wide open. We found man coverage. There's Trey Wisner for a big gain. And that's a touchdown. Little RPO tight end screen. Seen that one before. It works. Pretty good. I'll tell you, our defense is simulating so well. Up 17-0 right now. And really, no signs of slowing down. Trey Wisner's having a great game, 10 for 95. You really can't get a lot better than that. See if Usman Chroma can find the end zone. We're in a little slip screen, and it's our second consecutive kind of trick little pass play that finds us the end zone here. Not a trick play, but a little tricky action. So Kevin Jennings and the Mustangs, no match for us here today. The Gene Dangus era is off to a phenomenal start. 31-13 inverted scoreline here in Florida. It's a big-time win. I thought Daniels played well. Obviously, Trey Wisner had a really big game, but Daniels was looking really, really sharp. 17 for 153 and a score for Wisner. And then defensively, like these guys were getting after it. A sack for Darrell Desir. No interceptions, but just consistent 3 and outs. So it may be a real battle against Texas for Bryce Beckett, but I feel like he's going to be the guy to turn around this team. Can't get him on a visit quite yet. However, we do have a 4-star receiver, Antoine Samia, that is about ready for a visit. It's just about timing up that visit when I think we can get Beckett on campus. So I'm thinking week 5 against an FCS school, probably not worth it. But against Virginia, who could end up being okay, it's really our last window for a while. Week 8 bye, and then week 9 Clemson. But this week 5 against Virginia is probably going to be what we want. His deal breaker is pro potential. He also likes playing style. So now that we can start hard selling and soft selling, we can probably figure out what he likes. That would be an option. We also are going to have this as an option. So we can process of elimination and just double soft sell to figure out what it is by next week, and then get him on the visit week 5, knowing for a fact what his third motivator is. I think that's probably going to be the move. but we want to get that complimentary visit with the quarterback. This is priority numero uno in this recruiting class. We got to get him. Man, CJ Gage is really getting a ton of interest from Georgia. Same type of pipeline. Honestly, with how good he looks, 98 speed, 96 acceleration. Yeah, the zone coverage isn't great, but you just can't teach that type of speed. I honestly think giving him more money could be a good move. I don't know. I don't know if we want to go 230, but maybe like $185 or something like that. It could be worth it. Give him over the expected NIL. So Samia likes clocked in, so we can sell the A- playing time there, which he's going to really like quite a bit. And we got to schedule that visit. We got to get the points in order to do so. And we also have Alonzo Ragamba. Alonzo can come onto campus as well. And we probably want to get him on campus with an offensive lineman or two. So we've really got to decide what to do with this quarterback, because Beckett's going to be available for a visit probably in about another week. We want to schedule that. So we'll figure out what to do. And man, this Florida State schedule is not easy. At number 12, Alabama. It's like really not who I wanted to see on the schedule here. We're starting to get some momentum, and this is going to have to be a big upset. We are not favored in this game. Just because Alabama's really good doesn't mean we can't be better. Starting out completely ice cold, never a good sign. But it's not like this Florida State team doesn't have good players. Trey Wisner is near a 90. Xavier Chapman at left tackle is near a 90 overall. Like, we've got some talent here. So, hey, it may never matter. 3rd and 11. When in doubt, Deuce Robinson. Look at the timing on that throw, and look at the catch from Deuce. That's a big way to move the chains. Oh, Daniels rips one up the seam to Boggs. What a play. Okay, we're knocking on the door here on the 4-yard line. Running the ball is basically impossible, but the Alabama pass defense is actually where we're finding a little bit of success here. They're not exactly strong. And I mean, we probably had the tight end for a touchdown instantly. Trey Wisner up the middle, basically untouched. Maybe they got him on the goal line. It was already a score. Trey Wisner touchdown. Alabama stunned here at home to start. But we finally have a moment on defense. 3rd and 5. We need a little bit of pressure here. We're going to show a very interesting look. Alabama going to counter. Moving a couple receivers over to that left side. Kind of bunch left. And they're going to go just with a quick throw there. Not the best decision. They had some open receivers, but they come away with 0. And it's 14-0 Florida State, and we get the football back. We can control the clock until halftime. This could be a monster upset win. It's going to be 21-0. I mean, that's what it's going to be. Alabama cannot do anything. When we get the ball in the second half, I know it's going to be tempting to keep trying to score, but the move is probably just going to be trying to control the clock and just slowly let Alabama bleed out. Touchdown here is necessary. 21-0 is a huge difference. And it's going to be Trey Wisner touchdown. What is happening here at Bryant-Denny? 3rd quarter, we start with the ball. We can put Alabama away. That's what happens next. Just go down, Trey. Like, we're not trying to do too much. We're just going to make it 24-0. That's all we need to do. Dude, that's a big 4th down to convert. But what is it about Alabama and struggling with Florida schools early on in the year? It's tough to say. I mean, I guess typically it is USF. But here, it's going to be the Seminoles, and I just don't think there's enough time to come back. It's 31-8. That is your final. They couldn't score. Granted, a lot of it was in simulation. Does Florida State just simulate really well? I'm loving it. Dude, what is this start for us? Undefeated, wins over multiple ranked schools. We're just playing great. Trey Wisner, 3 touchdowns, 100 yards. Daniels playing well. I mean, our defense, though, is the big story. Javen Boggs playing great. And then sacks for Mandrell Desir, Daniel Lyons, Deontay McCray, interception for Mackay. What a season for us so far. And we are into the top 5 on Bryce Beckett. Got to get him on campus. Complimentary with the right tackle, Ezekiel Savage, already a Hall of Fame name. The playing style is no good, but that's not his main deal breaker. His main deal breaker we know is pro potential. So we can now not send the house, but hard sell. We also could consider a sway to make playing style not one of his main interests, but use something else like, I don't know, whatever else features playing time and pro potential. There's got to be something. So we could try and sway him to get brand exposure as one, but we might just take the A+, B+, and deal with the F. It's not going to be that bad. And it looks like Clemson wants to be a problem here for Alonzo Rugamba, but we'll get him on the Week 5 visit. Can we also add in a guard? Yes, Cornell Vaughns is ready for a visit, so let's go ahead and get him on campus. None of these guys have to go too far. Get a bunch of complimentary visits going. Family visit for Cornell Vaughns. We'll also change him to at least a soft sell. And he's not really being heavily recruited by anybody, which means that we don't really have to put a ton of resources towards getting him. This could just be a good 3-star guard to develop. And this is where we get to a tough spot with CJ Gage. Georgia just not giving up. So, I mean, previously our last-ditch effort would be, you know, like, try and sway something, get an A+ in there. Our grades are already good, right? They're actually really good. Our new last-ditch effort could be pay more money than Georgia by a lot. And maybe that can bump us up more than what you're expecting to see. We're going to find out if that's the case. We are 4-0. Of course, you just beat an FCS team. Not super impressive. There's a lot of interest for Bryce Beckett or Beckett, right? Week 5 visit. He's on campus right now against Virginia, who is 3-1. Like, they're pretty good. Now, thankfully, we do have a complimentary visit with Ezekiel Savage, so that's nice. And also Cornell Vaughns at guard, who's getting complimentary visits with the running back Alonzo Rugamba and the tackle Ezekiel Savage. We're looking pretty good. And Shaquem Broyles is about to be our first verbal commit. Like, maybe it ends up being Miami, but it looks like it's going to be Florida State. I really like Bieniemy. I really like Juan Scales, obviously. We're going big after defensive tackles in this class just because I kind of felt like that's where the value was. And our defense, I feel like, could look very, very good in a couple of years if we're able to hold on to these guys. And it's going to be really tough to get CJ Gage. This is probably one where we should just be out of this recruitment. But I'm tempted here in year 1 to see what the NIL can do. Maybe we get him on a week 9 visit. You can flip players this year, right? Like more than what it used to be. So a verbal commit doesn't mean he's going to Georgia. There's no point in recruiting him still. We could still potentially make this happen. Might be a long shot, though. Like, do we just keep paying him? This is all we can do. And this is where you might want to use a sway. Amari Nwosu has F playing style, A conference prestige, C+ coach prestige, which we can't get up this year. But what we can do potentially is get something that features coach and conference prestige and has a higher grade than F. So getting B for brand exposure would be a big bonus, right? Championship contender, I anticipate going up because we just keep winning. So we could even go for that and try to get championship contender, but like brand exposure is not really going to change too much. I guess I'd be pretty happy with the B. And that's maybe playing it a little bit safer, but we'll try to sway. We'll see what that does, and then we can just soft sell. We just need 10 more hours to do it. Okay, 3-1 Virginia on the schedule. They're not a joke either. They're an 84 overall, and with all of the top recruits in attendance for us this game, this is kind of a must-win. I mean, we go into Alabama, and we beat the Crimson Tide. We beat number 22 SMU despite them not being that high of an overall. Virginia is one of the better teams we've played. We have home field advantage. We need to win. And a blowout win would be quite nice. I don't know if we can guarantee that, but that's kind of what we need, or it would definitely be helpful. 4th and 3. This Virginia defense is no joke. But neither are we. Fake punt. Please stay in bounds. Usman Kroma makes the catch. Fake punt to get the first down. We're so back. And we're only going to come away with 3. Virginia's, for whatever reason, tough to break down. And hopefully our defense can rise to the occasion. Nope, we just threw an interception in sim, and Virginia has the ball on the 5. Please don't be a touchdown. It is a touchdown. Hey, it's 14-3, and we just cannot seem to move the ball on offense. Some of it has, of course, been in simulation when I'm playing these moments, but our defense is not really doing a great job either. And it's 21-10 now. 3rd and 8. I think we just go to Javen Boggs here and let him try to outrun. It didn't happen, and we're going to punt, I guess. That's a tough time to punt. Okay, 2.5 minutes to play. Down by 11. I don't want a close loss. I don't want a loss, period. We want to win this game. Go to Deuce. Jump ball. Lost. Deuce Robinson touchdown. We're right back in it. Just throw the ball to Deuce. That's all we have to do. We're going to go for 2 to make it a field goal game. I really don't actually like how long these routes are down the field. But if we just throw quickly, it may not matter. 2-point is good. Down 3. It's 21-18 with 2:18 to play. Foreshadowing? Weird coincidence? It's something. All right, need to stop here. Cavaliers up by 3. We need to stop. Nice. Good tackling on Holster. We're going to call a timeout here. We have 1 remaining. But we're trying to save every second. We have the stoppage from the 2-minute timeout. That's what we're calling timeouts on the other side. Just save every second. We know we need the stop here. 2nd and 13. They could still very easily run the ball here. So we need to be aware of that. And that is going to be just too many yards. It's too many. We're going to have to run commit. 3rd and inches. It's a fake pitch. Holstein broken tackle. He got the first. You've got to be kidding me. Eli Holstein, dude. Buy me dinner first. Oh, it's crazy. 21-18. Brutal loss. Just, we never looked good in this game. And CJ Gage verbally commits to Georgia. I mean, we knew that was coming. Is there anything we can do about it? Is Louisville's number 8? And the visit for Bryce Beckett didn't really go that great. Because we didn't win. That's the tough part about it. And now we're in a recruiting battle for Shaquem Broyles. Miami's made it a battle somehow. And I don't know. Getting these visits could potentially be tough. And I mean, Ole Miss is making a big push for Anthony Bieniemy. I really just want Juan Scales, though. But Bieniemy looks so good. So well-rounded. Like, maybe we only need 2 of these guys, but you need somebody that can also defend the run. And the fact that Anthony Bieniemy can also get to the quarterback, I feel like makes him incredibly valuable. So maybe the Week 9 visit against Clemson is what we want to do and get that going with, you know, maybe a linebacker, maybe 2 linebackers. Unfortunately, not going to be the corner. Gage is a verbal commit to Georgia. We can still keep our hours on him. We could still get him in on a visit, force a recruiting battle. We're not to signing day yet, right? I don't care that he's verbally committed to Georgia. It doesn't matter that much right now. He's got a multiplier, but it might just be wiser to, you know, put our points elsewhere. So Louisville's only at 81 overall. Like, they might be really good in simulation with their playbooks, but they might be a really beatable team actually on the field. Trey Wisner just ripped off a 40-yard run and then that one. So that's not great. Like, that one wasn't like a good follow-up, but you know, this is a beatable Louisville team, is my point. And that's a little bit late on Deuce Robinson. That was a mistake. Got to make a smart decision, and sometimes the best decision is with Ashton Daniels on the ground, lowering the shoulders, maybe not super smart. But we have 4th and goal on the 1. Upsetting number 8 Louisville at home, I think would be big for championship contender, which is right now only like a C. Because we lost to Virginia. All right, whatever, but this is a good start. And that's a touchdown for Louisville. Okay, we might have a game here. Could Louisville start out 5-0, though? Yeah, I think it's entirely possible. They were able to keep Isaac Brown as one of the most exciting players in college football. Not enough people are talking about him, really. And This Louisville team could be very exciting. I don't know what their schedule looks like exactly. That's going to, of course, determine their record, but they've got some talent. I mean, no question. And there's Isaac Brown right on cue. Trey Wisner, touchdown. Finding him on the wheel is a really good idea. Sorry about that. I mean, he's a great receiving back. Saw it so much at the University of Texas. And we're definitely using it to our advantage here, but we need our defense to step up. Cardinals just keep on going. Dude, we're down by 3, fourth quarter, 3rd and 6. And pressure gets to Kinels. Blake Nicholson got there. We're going to get the football back, and man, we need to make this the final possession of the game. We need to end with a touchdown. We're going to block it. No! Oh my goodness. How do we not dive? I thought we were going to have a blocked punt, and instead, it might just lose us the game. It's basically going to. And we got a touchdown to Javen Boggs at the end of the game, but we can't win between playing the moments and, of course, the not blocked punt. That's our game. That might be our season. But we do get our first verbal commit, Antoine Samia from Lubbock. Hopefully will end up being a Seminole. Hard commit for Shaquem Broyles. We were in a battle, and we won it against Miami. And now at number 3, Miami, who's undefeated. I'll tell you, 4-2 is not the worst season 1. It could be a lot worse right now. We're also going to turn up the scholarship offer on Paquette to $290. That's as much as we can give, and I think it will end up being worth it. And I'm also going to offer Anthony Bieniemy a lot more NIL. Again, I don't know if this is even the best thing to do, but I'm going for it. Ole Miss is hot on our trail, and got a week 9 visit. I really just want to make sure we can get everybody that we want. And the sway worked for Amari Nwosu. Brand exposure is now one of the things that he is interested in. So sometimes sway can be really effective. It's not going to be an every single recruit type of deal, but a lot of the times it can really make a difference if you time it up well and if it's in a situation that makes sense. This is a big rivalry game, and I'll tell you, the Canes are not rated crazy well. Obviously, they still do have quite a lot of talent. Everybody seems to know Malachi Toney nowadays. They bring in Darian Mensah, Ahmad Moten on their interior D-line is actually, I think, a prospect I'm watching pretty closely. Frederic in their secondary as well. But they lose Ruben Bain. They lose Keontae Scott, who's a good player for them. They lose, obviously, Akeem Mesidor. This is a more beatable team than the team that was in the national championship, I think. We'll see if that's true. And our first moment's actually a long field goal here. Meter's not moving that much. We drill it, 3-0. All right, it's a start. Obviously, still Mark Fletcher at running back you need to be aware of. He's a really, really good player, but we can play up in these rivalry games. I know we can. I mean, we're 4-2, but we have a big win over Bama. Like, we've had some moments this year, and pressure's going to get there. Daniel Lyons with the sack. You know, we need to do something off of that. Let's make this 10-0. And we're going to get sacked. Staring down a receiver. 6-0's okay, I guess. Okay, fourth quarter. We are down by 1. It's 19-20. Unfortunately, a lot of our drives have ended with 3 and not 7. And that's just going to be, not enough to beat a lot of these top teams. And that's a little bit behind. We had it, but it's a little bit behind Javen Boggs. It's okay, 2nd and 10. As long as we make this the final drive of the game, I mean, we're gonna win. It's as simple as that, but I don't know if that's going to happen. 3rd and 16. That's like a good luck. There's Ahmad Moten. I think we have that, though. Please. What a ball from Daniels. Layered perfectly. And now we can kind of take a deep breath, take our foot off the gas a little bit, slow this down, and just try to grind away. Miami out of timeouts. We're to the 16-yard line. All we really need to do is not fumble the ball and chew the clock. And Trey Wisner with a great run to put us down at the 5-yard line. I mean, we're going to win this game. That's what happens next. Just like Ella Langley said, it doesn't take Mario Cristobal to see. We're about to win this game for free. I'm not a singer for a reason, right? Taking the timeout, 3 seconds left. Field goal is going to send us to a big upset win over the number 3 undefeated Hurricanes. Where was this against Virginia? That kick is good. And the Seminoles have upset the rival Hurricanes. Hopefully our recruits saw that. Not in attendance, obviously, unless Miami brought him in, but that's a massive win for the program. And that's a big-time safety. 4-star Nick Ramos has verbally committed. Don't actually know if he's good. I do know he's a 4-star and he was local to us, so decided to recruit him, but not sure if he's good. I'm hoping he will be. Just can't scout everybody. And Clemson, after the visit, has jumped us for Bryce Beckett. That is really tough. And we do get a verbal commit from Ezekiel Savage and Juan Scales. That's the big one on the interior defensive line. Joining him is a hard commit, Antoine Samia. Now pretty much will be a Seminole. And we are in a big recruiting battle for Bryce Beckett. I wish so badly we could get him on a visit for this Clemson game. It's not going to happen, but this is kind of how you want it to go down, right? Battle against one of the biggest teams in the conference. We have them on the schedule this week. Should mean something. I mean, they want Alonzo Rugamba as well. Clemson's going to be a pain in these recruitment battles, that's for sure. I also think we might need to start scouting some quarterbacks. I wish we didn't have to, but we might have to. Clemson's an 84 overall. I mean, they're right where we are. I'd say they're beatable. Just got to start off playing well, and 3rd and 9 is already not what you want, and we just get blitzed. Will help. Potential future first-round pick. We'll see how 2026 goes. Defense starting off nicely already, but we need more from the offense. Let's give Deuce Robinson a chance here. Go up and get it. He did, but not in bounds. I'm going to green so many of these catches. It's going to give us a chance with Deuce Robinson a lot. Unfortunately, not there. A high-scoring game so far. It's 3-3 in quarter number 3. And you got to love going well short of the line to gain on 3rd down. But it does set up 4th and short. Do I think we can run on the Clemson defensive line? Honestly, historically, no. Maybe this one is different. And there's Wisner, broken tackle, 1st down, let's go. We're into the 4th quarter now, up 9-3. And if they want to make that tackle, that's fine. Should we go for it? Man. It's tempting because we're on the 1-yard line, but purely from a game management standpoint, to go up 12-3 is just more valuable. 4th and 12 for Clemson. This is the game right here. If they don't get this, we win. It's as simple as that, and we got to him. Vizina goes down. That's going to be the upset. I know they're number 15. I know they're the same record as us, but this is a big upset win. And that is another rivalry win, 18-10 over Clemson. That is a big-time win, especially with a lot of recruits in attendance. I don't think any of them were really going to come down to this game. That was really week 5 against Virginia that we lost. But this is going to hopefully solidify a lot of these defensive recruits that we had, and also potentially even rank us in the top 25. And there's a commitment from Percy Balaj. And again, a lot of these are going to be verbal. Amari Nwosu, the linebacker recruits are going to come in. Paul So, I think, is a pretty good one. He was a top corner we're going after. Alonzo Rugamba is a hard commit. Anthony Bieniemy is a hard commit. Nick Ramos as well. So that was a huge week for us. We need to start making, decisions about another quarterback. Manny Vaughns is a gem. Has good accuracy, has good throw power. Athleticism's not terrible. Doesn't have any offers currently. That's a pretty good pivot. But I still would love to get Beckett or Beckett. Just don't know if it's possible. Well, Bryce Beckett to Clemson. See him every once in a while on the other sideline. Guess he wants to be a loser. That's fine. Not everybody can be a winner. We've got Manny Vaughns. That is potentially going to be a Seminole. And we like him more, actually. All right, that's a lie, but whatever. Although he doesn't have quite the arm. John DeMercado could be somebody to go after. Nicolas Cage. Do we have to get him? Well, I simulated and we beat Boston College 31-0. And BC was actually rated okay. We're the number 12 team in the country now. Well, we got a 4-star commit tight end Deshaun Wayne. I mean, we're getting good players. And we got a couple of these guys still expected to be on campus. The offensive line's coming together. The linebackers here are going to be just fantastic. So recruiting, other than losing the gem of the class, the 5-star quarterback at the most important position, other than that, things are going well. As we unfortunately lose to Pitt and drop to 7-3. Ooh, Nehemiah Chandler is your ACC Defensive Player of the Week. Had an interception, a pass breakup, 5 tackles. Hopefully that resulted in a win. We're 18-3, and we've got 6-5 Florida here in Week 13. So this is one of our final games of the year. Is this rivalry week? I imagine it's the final game of the year. So it is rivalry week. If I did the math, I would have been able to tell you this is definitely the final game of the year. In Tallahassee, we have visitors for this game. The recruiting class is absolutely coming together. You look at the top classes here. We're number 5 right now. We have 13 total commits. We're not quite on the level of Ohio State with 10 5-stars. But we have 11 4-stars, 2 3-stars. I didn't really go after the 5-stars this time around. I kind of leaned the other way. But the class is good. And it's hopefully only going to get better. I mean, it's anybody's game here into the fourth quarter. It's 10-10. And, I mean, lucky that that worked. Well, unfortunately, we're going to have to settle for a field goal. And that looks like it's going to be pretty good. And we go up 13-10. We don't need to win by 100, just need to win. And the interception by Jabril puts us on the 18-yard line and hopefully in a position to put away this game. And that's going to do it. 13-10 is your final. We end the season on a high note. I mean, that's 9-3. 5-3 in the conference, though. Maybe in a position to play for an ACC title. Yeah, unfortunately not in a position to compete for the ACC championship. And you're going to be outside the range of the college football playoff. Florida State fans know a thing or two about that. Yeah, we're just going to be on the outside looking in. Really no chance to make it in this year, but that's okay. It's year 1. It already went way better than I expected. Well, we have made it pretty much to the offseason. This is Bowl Week 1. Got Kentucky in the Bordeaux versus Gene Dangus Bowl. It's also early National Signing Day. I'm not going to take you through everybody. Get this joker off the screen. But we do put ourselves in a pretty good position to land a top 5 class prior to the transfer portal, which is incredibly impactful. We've done really well overall. Still going after a couple of high school quarterbacks, but of course, you know, we could pay big time money in the transfer portal to get somebody big, but that's why you want to save some of your budget. I'm just focusing early on high school players, and then we'll maybe focus more on the portal as the years go on when we need more of like instant help, right? But I'm really liking the quality of player that we brought in. I know no 5-stars to this point, and I imagine that that will end up changing. We're going to offer a scholarship to Rideau here in a minute, but we are in a great position overall. The defense, I feel like more than anything else, has improved a lot. Can we get the double-digit win season with the bowl win over Kentucky? I feel like we can. Although Blake Nicholson did win ACC Defensive Player of the Week. Nope, we lost. 9-4. Come on, man. 30-27 too. Unreal. Dude, Louisville is undefeated and in the national championship if Louisville beats Ohio State. Isaac Brown's too good and needs to be stopped. Did Ohio State get it done? Or is it 16-0 Louisville? Oh my goodness. Well, we just had more NIL hit the bank account essentially after a pretty good season. But we're also on the verge of losing some players that just honestly want to be paid more. We do have the NIL to get it done, though. So if we want Makahi Danzy to stick around, man, we've got to allocate like 250. But he is a redshirt sophomore. That's an 85 overall. It's going to go up, near 90. It's probably worth it to just try and keep him on the roster and not even have to hit the portal. So we'll try to keep him. And maybe as a result, we don't need Tayshaun Gelsey. But if you want to keep your players, you got to pay them. Although we probably don't need any more help at defensive tackle. All right, so we've allocated some funds here. Trying to keep these guys on the roster. 260 is a lot for Danzy. But I think it might actually end up being worth it. Okay, players leaving. Did it actually help? Ooh. Usman Chroma now wants out. Well, I wish I knew that. His persuasion chance is high. It's a playing style issue. Dude, I would give you more money just had I known. So we're going to be losing some of these players. We were totally ready for that. But Chroma, of course, was not really ready for. We'll try to persuade him, and he has not been persuaded. He's going to leave. Oh, you're killing me. Did we get anybody drafted? Deuce Robinson, surely, right? Is a second-round pick. Trey Wisner goes in the 4th, Chaplin in the 5th, and Daniel Lyons ends up getting drafted. But transfer portal recruiting is going to be pretty big. It might be worth going out and getting a big quarterback. Like, we can still bring in a true freshman that might be okay, might be ready to play. But we might have the money to go out and get a really, really good quarterback. And there are a number of really talented players that do want to play for us. And at quarterback, I mean, we could bring in KJ Lacey, hook 'em horns. Sorry to see him in the portal, but Texas's loss could be our gain. And I mean, he might be worth paying. And I think we definitely need a running back. James Simon in the portal, Ja'Kyrie and Turner. Losing Trey Wisner and then Chroma as well, we got to get somebody. Although, honestly, KJ Lacey doesn't look much better than what we're currently recruiting. The only difference is he's going to get the offseason boost the way the others would not. But we're already in a pretty good position in these recruitments. I guess we're just not going to bring in a quarterback probably, and we'll focus our NIL on other positions. I mean, Turner looks amazing. I'm sure James Simon's going to look quite good, and he does. Turner's better, though. Williams Nwaneri looks insane. He was, I think, the former number 1 or number 2 overall player in a recruiting class. We have the money. I'm down to pay some of these guys for instant impact, especially when they're only transfer sophomores, and especially when we can keep them from going to Miami. And we definitely need a transfer portal corner. Dijon Lee's right here. Florida State at the top of his board. He wants to be a Seminole. It's like, it's the perfect fit. And he's the number 1 corner in the class. Again, I'm certainly willing to pay. We have the money. We just overperformed expectations to an insane degree. Got a lot of money to spend. Obviously, you can also use that for, other things. You don't want to spend it entirely on your roster, but this feels like a pretty good time to spend it on our roster. And we probably don't need this many receivers. I think Alani Jefferson's probably the one to go. He's got 92 agility, though. I think I like him more than Nicolas Cage, but the name value's pretty tough to pass up. And he's more expensive. I hate to do it. I'm definitely going to regret it when he comes back and makes national treasure and becomes a big star. But you know what? Sometimes you got to be the motivating factor. We need a tight end in the portal. And Kalen Chudzinski, I think, would be the perfect addition. And I guess there's our quarterback, Manny Vaughns. All the way from Glasgow. Scottish guy, huh? Well, he could be our next quarterback. And the commitments are just rolling in. Hard commit from Ben Moncrief. Ja'Kyrie and Turner is a big addition. James Simon will join him, so we lose 2 very good running backs and get back 2 very good running backs. And Dijon Lee is the first 5-star. It is a transfer 5-star, but it's a 5-star nonetheless. That is a huge addition at corner. We're in a recruiting battle with Notre Dame for Williams Nwaneri and a couple of other players also in recruiting battles as well. But I didn't go into the offseason expecting to get everybody, and we're kind of in a pretty good position to maybe do exactly that. Braden Jacobs could be tough. He might want to go to Missouri, so he might end up at Mizzou, but the rest of these are looking really, really nice. You look at the top classes, we are firmly in the top 5. I don't know that Alabama's going to end up passing us. I think we're going to be in a good position. And we also have maybe some competition at quarterback. DeMercado gets in there. This is a really, really good class. I feel like for my first real recruiting class of College Football 27, it came together pretty nicely. And of course, at Florida State, the resources are better than what you're going to deal with at Kent State or Sacramento State or pick a place, right? Now, unfortunately, we didn't get either of the big-time edge rush transfers that I wanted in Nwaneri or LJ McCray. Still a really good class. I didn't think edge was at the top of our list of needs. I think we're going to be okay without getting those guys. We actually dropped to number 9, even with getting more players. I thought for sure we had it locked up, but I guess it ends up being like Nwaneri and McCray away from a top 5 class. So that kind of sucks. But this is what the new roster is going to look like. We can make some position changes, but it's a good team. And I guess Shane Willow could start at quarterback. Manny Vaughns is a 75 overall. That might be good enough to start. Ooh, star dev for John DeMercado. Maybe a little bit of a project there that could end up yielding tremendous rewards. So, ooh, Alonzo Rugamba has elite development. I mean, we can sort by development trait now, so we can just kind of see who the best guys are. Brady McCroy at center has elite. Rugamba has elite. Emmett Rideau at outside linebacker has elite. That's a really good start. And then DeMercado with star. Percy Ballage with star at outside linebacker. Alani Jefferson. Matthew Warlow. Charles Lester already had it, of course. Nick Ramos has star. 93 speed, too. We didn't even scout him. He just happens to be good. Caesar Cheeseman has star dev. Okay, that ends up being a really nice class. Just need to develop these guys a little bit. Also, when you look at position changes here for athletes, Caesar Cheeseman is a higher overall at tight end. He's a little bit light for a tight end, but he's going to gain weight because that happens in college football, in the video game even as well. So I think he's just going to be a pretty good fit at tight end, and we're kind of weaker there, I would say. Now, I hadn't thought at all about Deshaun Wayne as anything other than a tight end or a receiver, but maybe he's got a chance to play off the edge for us. And then Daryl Rooks is going to play wide receiver. He's definitely too light. Let's try it. Let's put Deshaun Wayne off the edge and see if we can develop him there. I like what we have at tight end right now, and I wish we could have seen what his finesse move was. It's a 68. That's not great. Tackle's quite high. He actually looks like he'd work well at linebacker. But we already have some linebackers I feel really good about. Like Amari Nwosu. Like Frank Lemon. Like Emmett Rideau. Like Percy Ballage. Training results are here. Apparently it's a lot lower than what it was last year. So temper your expectations. But we've seen some light improvements. Is the roster better than where it was last year? It's pretty similar, I would say. I mean, the overall will tell you that. But the big difference is going to be that we actually have a future at quarterback now. And, you know, Daniels isn't just a redshirt senior that's never going to get better. We've got some players to potentially build around. I feel like our secondary is going to look quite good. We've got some really exciting freshmen that I'm really going to try to get on the field. I think we're going to be in a good position here going into 2028. Nope, 2027. So I've currently got 14 targets on the board. The average for these guys is about 100 or so NIL. Of course, the quarterbacks are more expensive. And we have 1,700 remaining NIL budget, essentially. So I think we're going to try to add a really good quarterback in this class. There are some quite good ones. I think Ty Jimo is probably my preferred. But if you look at the pipeline tier, it's the worst there. So, and we have to compete against some really big time schools for Largent. So it's a tough call to see who we should really go after. Of course, going after a bunch of 5 stars this time around, because I think we're more open to that this time. I think we've got more of an opportunity to get a lot of those types of really, really talented players. So, going to continue to scout and prioritize who we want to go after. So, we are going to start the true freshman Manny Vaughns at quarterback. Jakiri and Turner, of course, at running back, but Simon's going to rotate in. Not really playing too many of the freshmen early on, although we'll see if, like, maybe Antoine Samia rises up the depth chart at some point. We're going to start the true freshman center, Brady McRoy, and then really you're going to see the freshman at defensive tackle with Shaquem Broyles and Juan Scales, and at linebacker in Emmett Rideau, Frank Lemon, and most importantly, Percy Balaj with star development. Very good athlete. Dijon Lee, of course, the transfer corner. Also have the 4-star safety that's going to start as a true freshman. And hopefully, we are in a position to win the ACC here in year 2. Not going to jump into as many of the games. Hopefully, just, see great results. And we're going to try this out too. Fundraising team, it costs $750, but we get a Dynasty points increase of $1050 at the end of season recap. I think that's going to be worth it. It's a little bit of delayed gratification, but if we're gratified at the end, I'm in. But of course, that could factor in who we're actually able to land in recruiting. But it seems like it's going to be a really big challenge to land any of these quarterbacks anyway. So we're probably just going to keep what we have on the roster. Is Nehemiah Chandler, our best defensive player? 2 interceptions against App State. I mean, he should win the Heisman. So we are 2-0, number 12 in the nation. We played nobody, of course, but the fact that we're at number 12 overall, already pretty good. If you go into the team schedule here, of course, you'll see that we didn't play anybody. App State and FCS Northwest were actually kind of allowing too many points to this caliber of opponent, but at least we're scoring. I mean, this is an FCS school, but we have a true freshman quarterback. Came out, played great. 275, 4 touchdowns. If we can just get him some XP, get him upgraded, we got a chance to make a run. But Pitt could be a real challenge here. Well, Miami's number 4 in the country. This is a home game. We don't have any visitors coming for a game this early in the season. Just kind of got a late jump on recruiting, and Miami's up to be even better than where they were last year. So this could be a real challenge, but at least we are at home. All right, first look at Vaughns at quarterback. We know he doesn't quite have the speed of, like a true awesome dual threat, but he's got decent enough speed to, I think, get us out of some problems if they come up. And we're going to try to run the ball here. Jakiri and Turner, we paid you to come in. Make something happen. That's making something happen. That did not look very good, but we moved the chains anyway. That's got to be a touchdown to Thomas. We love getting tricky around the goal line. That's going to help out Manny Vaughn's numbers, but we need our defense to play great. A lot of young guys playing in here, like Broyles, like Rideau, like Balaj. Hopefully these guys can rise to the occasion. This is a big-time game. It's a good play. 4th and 2. Please take that away. We just don't have the speed. 3rd and 3, throw in the bubble screen. We are all over it. Miami's going to have to settle for 3. No, they keep the offense on the field. Okay. Well, let's make a play. Keep them out of the end zone, get the football back. Good way to win a game, I think. Nope, that's wide open. What were we going to do? Take away both routes at the same time, 10 yards apart? Guess not. Oh, that's a beautiful touchdown on the move, Manny Vaughns. We extend our lead here in Tallahassee. That's a big-time play. Or we take the lead here. It was 7-7. Was it? I think it was not. No, it wasn't. They do score a touchdown, so that'll happen, and then we let that go. We're going to get 3 here before the end of the half. We're still in the lead. 4th quarter, just got to keep the Hurricanes out of the end zone. Up by 4. Got to be aware of the quarterback run as well. Mensah barely gets the throw off. I'll tell you, it's super tough to stop this Hurricanes team. Just have really good athletes. Here's a screen. We're just not going to be able to get there. Offense going to need to step up here, and it's 4th down. Okay, well, 4th and inches, game on the line. We're going to keep it on the ground. And we are barely going to get it. Maybe more than barely. Oh, we just screamed by him. Boggs, wide open, makes the catch. Javen Boggs, touchdown. We retake the lead. Miami with plenty of time to respond, though. That's the concern. 3 minutes up by 4. We were just in this spot. Miami scored the go-ahead touchdown. Huge play in the game, 3rd and 8. Miami could punt if they don't get this, but they're not going to because they got it easily. I didn't think he was going to try to fit it in that window. It's a great throw, great route. Oh, good pressure. We need the takeaway. Okay, no touchdown works. But this Miami team just keeps moving it down the field. You just really can't stop them. All right, true freshman Ramos playing in the slot. It's decent coverage. Kind of expecting a run, and we can't find the ball. Turn around. 31-28, a minute and a half to play. Didn't think that was going to work like that. That was a little scary. It's Vaughn's season. Look at all the space. 3 can tie. We want 7. Okay, we need a big kick to tie it. Unfortunately, could not get it. That looks like a decent kick while iced. Doesn't matter. Knotted at 31. Miami goes up early. We've got to answer. We're going to. Wide open is the transfer. Chudzinski. And now we're going to start with the football in the 2nd period of overtime. 3rd and 10. Hey, not looking good right now. We just got to hope he gets open. He didn't. We've got to just take the 3 here. Like, it sucks, but we've got to hope our defense can do what they haven't been able to do. Stop the Hurricanes. 3rd and 9. We absolutely cannot afford them to get this. They keep it on the ground. Would they try to go here on 4th and 4? Okay, I guess not. They played conservatively, and it's the only thing that's going to keep us in this game. Oh, and Miami beat us because we didn't get them on. Okay. So, we lose to Clemson. We obviously lost to Miami. That's forgivable. And then beat, at the time, 5-0 undefeated Louisville that hadn't lost in 2 years. They were, what, 21-0 coming into this game? 13-9. Love to see that. And then it's like the rest of the games don't really look too challenging. I mean, I could see us obviously losing a couple of those, but we're in a pretty good position to at least repeat our successes from last year, I would say. We're about to lay down the hammer. George Hammer is a Seminole. The prospect I was probably the most excited about. We also get Muhammad Nix. We do lose out on another commit who's verbally committed somewhere else. But we're doing pretty well. And look who it is, Nehemiah Chandler. Another interception. We are 5-2. That's good for 17th in the nation. And if you check out the conference standings, we should be in a pretty good position to compete for that ACC title. Need a loss probably from Louisville, who we beat, or Boston College to play for it. Or if Miami would end up losing a couple of games. But if we lose out, I've got a pretty good feeling we're going to be in that game. So recruiting's not going perfectly. Like Alex Phillip, for example, is on the verge of verbally committing to Washington or UCLA. The one thing we have working for us, though, is he's got a visit to Georgia Tech or versus Georgia Tech this week. So maybe if we do well, we can get in position. We may also just have to raise up the NIL offer, which that could be the move if we really want him. He's 6'4", 180 with 95 speed. Bronze takeoff. Route running's not terrible. It's a player we probably want. And then I love what we're doing off the edge. George Hammer is a hard commit at this point. He's a gem with 90 hit power, 87 speed, 92 acceleration. Finesse moves, not bad. Pursuit's okay. If he has a good dev trait, he's going to be an absolute superstar. Okay, big win over Georgia Tech, 27-7. Just kind of a dominant victory. That's going to be good for the recruits in attendance because we'll get that blowout bonus. Well, we lost to Virginia. And then Duke and Florida, of course, to end the year. Like, it's been a good season, but that's not really a game you can afford to lose. Well, this is how I find out we lose to Florida. Unbelievable. I think I can simulate the week. Nope. 8-4 final. If you don't jump into these games in the rebuilds, you can lose pretty easily and by a lot. 31-14. Losing 2 of 3 to end the year. Not what we wanted to do. Well, our season is pretty much over now. Not a bad year number 2. Of course, started the true freshman quarterback Manny Vaughns, put up 24 touchdowns, 9 picks, almost 3,000 yards passing in 12 games. Obviously, bit of a ways to go, obviously, as a player. Ja'Kyrian Turner was great. Manny Vaughns did not run the ball too well, but of course, in college, sacks count against your rushing yards for quarterbacks. And we didn't really even get to play any of the freshmen. Receiving, nothing particularly noteworthy. I mean, 800 yards receiving is not nothing. It's nearly 70 yards a game, but it's not incredible. 4 touchdowns, and then defensively, pretty good year from Percy Ballage. 6 tackles for loss, 74 tackles, led the way, 2.5 sacks. That's pretty good production. Mandrell Desir had 10.5 sacks. Although now that our championship contender is not high enough, we are in danger of losing him. So we're potentially going to have to really increase that NIL to keep him. Nick Ramos had 3 picks. That's a very good true freshman season. We just need these guys to be able to upgrade enough and maybe even keep Dijon Lee, but our play style's not high enough. So we'll see what this offseason looks like, but going into year 3, I think this is going to be when we see the biggest increase, and we put ourselves in a position to win the ACC and to compete for a national championship. And there is our first 5-star hard commit. Marquise Witherspoon from Gulfport, Mississippi, is going to be a Seminole. That's a big one. And I don't really care so much about the 4 versus 5-star versus 3-star. It's all about how good they actually are. But oftentimes, of course, the 5 stars are going to be significantly better than their 4 and 3-star, of course, counterparts. But I really like what we did off the edge in this cycle for sure. Like, Witherspoon's going to be a heck of a player. I think George Hammer is going to be a heck of a player. And then we have, like, some pretty decent other players in here as well. It's just a matter of, okay, do we offer scholarships in order to land these guys? And I think the answer is going to be yes. Well, disaster has struck. Marquise Witherspoon is a hurricane. He's flipped on us, and he's headed to Miami. Unbelievable. Now, I already didn't think he was the best edge rusher in the class, as we're going to play Fresno State in the Tony the Tiger Bowl. Prestigious as anything, but I still would have liked Witherspoon in the class. Unfortunately, the deal breaker pops up of championship contender, and we are below that number, or that letter. We need a B plus probably, or at least a B. We've got B minus. Losing to Florida, much like my favorite team, Texas, ends our season. And also, as you can see, our job security has changed in the top right to safe for now. It's a little scary. That almost seems like this next year might be a make or break. That's kind of what it seems like. If we lose Nehemiah Chandler, I don't know what would happen to our secondary. I think we did win the Tony the Tiger Bowl, Sun Bowl. So it's back-to-back 9-win seasons for our Seminoles. We got a new offensive coordinator as well, Steve Cooper, who has elite recruiter. But we really don't have much in the way of NIL right now, of money. So, like, we're going to get more, but unfortunately, right now, we don't have any. Yeah, like, the AD's getting impatient. Beating Florida and also allowing a ton of points per game, not great. So we will end up getting more NIL now. 500 plus dynasty points. But we might have a real problem trying to retain a lot of these players. Like, I think Ja'Kyrian Turner's big, but we're to 0 NIL now. And we need to keep Dijon Lee. Like, this, we're in such a bad spot. I think we need to let James Simon go and spend that money elsewhere. So maybe Mandrell Desir, certainly Dijon Lee. I'd like to get their risk down to about 0. Like, Javen Boggs, I don't want to lose, but I'm not sure what the alternative is going to be. Like, and Kevin Wynn is too good to let go. Obviously, both the quarterbacks can leave. It's just not worth spending on them. I'm honestly considering letting Mandrell Desir go. That might be the move. But this is starting to look a little bit better, but we got to pay these guys so much. We probably need to let Javen Boggs go. That's going to be the one. We have receivers. We can always go out and get somebody in the portal. We're going to end up getting more NIL. So it's going to have to be Boggs probably. I wanted to keep him, but I think Desir, Mandrell Desir is just a bit more important. Are these two brothers? Are they twins? You can also adjust what you're paying guys on your roster currently. So if we just keep this in the green, like, they still could transfer, I guess, but the likelihood of that happening seems like it's going to be way lower. And that, okay, well, can we not move that up now? Okay, backing out fix it. I'll tell you, we need that dynasty points number to go up now. We can't wait until the end of the season. But we should be okay. Our job security being low is a little bit scary, but it just means that this is going to be a make or break year. And I'm okay with that. Like, we're ready. We're going to keep a lot of the best players on the team, and then we're going to go out into the portal and get better players even. As Mandrell Desir will most likely be leaving us. He's decided to stay. That is an unbelievable stay. Like, we're losing Javen Boggs. We're losing Carl Lewis Jr. Love to get Paul Bowling back. He's decided to stay. But a lot of these guys with no persuasion chance, probably not worth trying to persuade. Because you literally do not have a chance. And in terms of players we're graduating, not really anyone super important, but receiver is a position of need. But we're looking good. We had nobody drafted, but that's not a bad thing. Because it just means that we kept our top players. That's all that means. We don't need to do much here in the portal, but we'll try to maybe free up some money to go after one of the top guys. Maybe. We'll see. Well, the two big transfer portal receivers we went after, we did not get. So that's unfortunate. But overall, the class was pretty good. We didn't finish inside the top 10, but 15th best class, 14 4-stars, 6 3-stars. Doesn't need to be a class of 35 every time. And we're still, you got players left on the board. But I think after the offseason upgrades, we're going to be like a 90 overall team or something close to that range. And that's an ACC title contender. So going into 2028, season number 3, the team does look pretty good, I would say. We're up to an 89 overall post upgrades, and we even have a few 90s. But what you'll notice about a lot of the teams, a lot of the players, not a lot of 90-plus players the deeper you get into the league. Manny Vaughns is an 83. We'll absolutely take that. His accuracy is playing up, as you can see in the bottom right. Pretty well. And, of course, Shakiri and Turner still around. And Alonzo Rugamba is up to an 81. So his elite development is certainly helping out his development. And he'll be RB2 this year, as we don't really have a ton of depth at that position. Receiver overall looks pretty solid. I knew it wouldn't be the end of the world if we didn't go all out for one in the transfer portal. Kalen Chudzinski's quite high overall, but, of course, not a lot of depth at tight end either. And the offensive line didn't quite develop as much as I had hoped for. It's still going to be okay, but we're also probably going to have to start the true freshman Amir Wilbon. And the development rate, not really that great. But overall, the team does look pretty good. Like, we have some freshmen that I were hoping would be higher overalls, like George Hammer, for example. I feel like he's such an athletic freak, and the ceiling would appear to be so high, but only impact development means that he'll probably never end up being all that great. So you're really looking for star dev, elite dev. That's when you can get the true superstar potential type players. Outside of that, it's kind of tough. And we also have a lot of these linebackers threatening to leave due to pro potential at the position being incredibly low. So linebacker will end up being probably a big position of need. We should be able to keep Percy Blige, but not everybody, and he's got star dev, so feel pretty good about that. Corner looks very good. We have a lot of good depth. And then I feel really good about safety. Nick Ramos is up to an 87. He's one of our best players now. We really focused on upgrading his cover skills. He was already a good athlete. The run support isn't even that bad, but he's just more of a cover player and hopefully will contribute to a lot of takeaways in the secondary. The recruiting board has a couple of really cool prospects on it. I really like Jaron Tinker as gold shifty already, 94 speed, 93 acceleration, 98 change of direction. This seems like a guy that could step in day one and be a quality player for you. And if not day one, certainly into year two after a redshirt season as a freshman. At quarterback, Gideon Kina Takara seems quite good. A lot of these quarterbacks do. You know, high speed, throw power looks decent enough, but the deep accuracy of Kina Takara seems especially great at an 88. Max Dobbs also has some pretty good accuracy as well. Just not the same speed as some of those other players, but a bunch of really, really good prospects in here. I think this is the time when we can go after a lot of these 5-stars because the team is in a really, really good position. We no longer need, 30 players in one class. Let's just go after some of the top players, bring in the guys that can change this program in an instant, right? That don't need a ton of development. It's tough to find those guys, right? But there are a number of good ones that seem like they're going to be ready to go, sooner rather than later. Maybe not all of them, but there are quite a few. And I think I will probably still gravitate towards the speed rushers. It's just what I prefer. A lot of these guys are going to have high hit power, high speed, high acceleration. If you can find the rare one this year that actually has good finesse moves, they might be a special type of a player. And that's where Chester Isaac comes in, because a lot of these guys are great athletes. However, very, very few of them have finesse moves or power moves even into the 80s or even that close. So that is something you can upgrade fairly easily. It's still going to be very dev trait dependent, but a lot of really good athletes at Speed Rush, and I feel pretty good about this season, right? This is going to be our schedule for the 2027 year. We're going to focus on, hopefully just getting through our ACC schedule, and the rest of the game should be fairly easy. But we want to be in the ACC championship game this year. That is the goal. Our job security might be safe for now, but it doesn't really look amazing. We've got to start really winning, and we're about to. So we've got some prospects coming in on week 4 visits. Oscar Batista, Gideon Kina Takara, and also D'Angelo Hambrick. So kind of focusing on the offense here. But we also have some guys that are expected to come in week 6. I think Georgia might be running away with this one, unfortunately for Jaron Tinker, who is currently the best running back I've seen in this game. Looks absolutely unbelievable. But I think maybe with increasing the NIL package, which we did, as high as it goes, and also getting him on the week 6 visit, because this recruitment's still going to be going on. Even if he verbally commits to Georgia in this week or after, week 5, we're still going to get him in on a visit in week 6, or at least that's my understanding. So we're going to jump in against Pitt, hopefully get the win, and this should set up the recruiting class. I mean, look at the overall difference. We should be way better. This is a team we should be beating, and yet we've already lost a game like that this year. That's a good drive. We just worked all the way down the field. Manny Vaughns is looking like that guy. Yes, we are recruiting a quarterback in Gideon Kina Takara, but Manny Vaughns is looking like the guy that we always wanted him to be, even though he wasn't our first choice at quarterback. 4th and 3. They're going to leave the offense out on the field here on the road. This is a big play early in the game, and they're going to run it and get it. But Dijon Lee gets the interception. We get the ball back. Manny Vaughns is leading us all the way down the field. And I'm sure we're about to make this 14-0. And we should be. Okay, not that way. 4th quarter, 4th and 10, up 21-7. That is a crazy thing to leave open. Oh my gosh. And we don't even get any points on this drive. 21-14, Pitt still very much in this game. It's good defense, though. Well, we unfortunately only win 23-14. It's not a big blowout victory, but it should be helpful. I mean, it probably couldn't look worse for Jaron Tinker. Maybe if we get a blowout win week 6, we have a chance, but it seems highly unlikely. We're probably just wasting time and money, but you can change the money, right? Like, that doesn't have to stay on there, so it might as well while you're still trying to pursue, but yeah, it's not great. I mean, that's just kind of the reality. It's not great. But the visit did go really well for the quarterback, Gideon Kina Takara, so we are the clear favorite in this one, and hopefully should get the hard commit prior to Alabama's Week 10 visit. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen. And we do get a 5-star commit, or at least verbally, from D'Angelo Hamrick. We know that this can change now. Unfortunately, players can decommit as we are locked out on Batista and Evan Carney. How did Oregon just come in like that? Yeah, so running back recruiting not going all that well, but the time might be right here on Jerron Tinker. Yeah, he verbally commits to Georgia, but with a good visit here, maybe we get a flip. I'm not sure. We're going to find out, right? I said Oregon. Maybe it was Ohio State. Just better pipeline, more resources right now. But we've got a really big opportunity here. Week 6, we're number 13 in the nation. We get to play 2-3 Syracuse. A blowout win could do a lot for recruiting. We're an 89 overall. I think this one, honestly, should go pretty well. So we actually haven't scored very much today, but a 57-yard rush by Jakiri and Turner put us in this position to hopefully extend our lead. The blowout is looking obviously less likely, but at least we're going to win, I would hope. Terrible sequence down low. That's got to be a pick. Nehemiah Chandler with the game-sealing interception. If we can just make this 17-0, I will feel really good about it. But we couldn't, so 10-0's your final. Didn't really get a lot of moments of this one, and the ones that we did have just didn't capitalize. And we do get a hard commit from 4-star quarterback Gideon Kina Takara. That's a big one. We're about to see if Jerron Tinker is hard committed, and he is. And I expected as much, but now, of course, we just get a lot of money back, some hours back, right? He was an incredible prospect, so I wanted to give our best chance to get him, but just not to be this time around. And quick refresher, like, this is an awesome player. Really athletic, but also very accurate, and the arm's pretty good. So, like, I don't know what his future is going to look like with us, and I added another quarterback to the board as well, of course, who looks pretty good, similar, just not quite as good. We don't really need him anymore, because we got the one. Now we just need to figure out, okay, what are we doing at running back? And I think there are some good options in here. They're not as good, obviously, as Jerron Tinker, but they're okay. So this is quite the game. We are number 5 in the nation at 5-1. Got to go on the road to play number 1 undefeated Miami. Two very similarly rated teams. This could be a battle. So we've moved the ball okay so far, but the Miami defense is now like really starting to step up, and that's just not the right thing. We're in a weird spot on the field, though. I guess we'll play the field position battle. Try to pin them. Well, it works. We've got the ball back, but we're really struggling to get in advantageous positions, and I just don't know that that's going to be the right play for Miami. Obviously, it was good for us. They suck. See, this is a tough 3rd and goal, down 7. There's a lot of chaos going on, but we end up finding a receiver, somehow scoring a touchdown and tying it up here on the road. Okay, ball back, 1:38 to play. And we had a receiver there. It was Kalen Chodzinski over the middle. Instead, opting to scramble. Not an awful idea, but Vaughn's is not an exceptional playmaker with his legs. And that pitch was, I guess, late. Didn't come out. And now we have to deal with a 3rd and 5. I think that slant's going to be absolutely wide open. It's Samia again. Got to keep feeding him. See, this is a spot where I really feel like we need to come away with a score. A touchdown would be preferred, and look who it is. Samia again. What a drive for him. What a touchdown to take the lead. Let's go out and have a good second half. 3rd and 8 sack. We got to him. Mandrell Desir. We got him to stay, and now he's making big plays. We're in the red zone, up by a score, inside 4 minutes. We can choose some clock and also get the 2-score advantage. It's the only goal of this drive. 3rd and 4. We're just going to force them to use a timeout. Or They can't even get the stop. We're going to give ourselves up, not score the touchdown, because they only have one more timeout. I'm very comfortable going up 17-7 as long as we're going to bleed this clock inside like a minute and a half. And that's exactly what we're going to be able to do. No attempt to score there whatsoever. We can bleed the clock down quite a bit. We'll take the timeout or even delay of game and kick the field goal. And here's the kick. Miami out of timeouts, 1:18 on the clock, 17-7. Their hopes of staying undefeated are over. They move the ball down the field, but they can't even get another snap off. 17-7 is your final. What a big upset win here for our Seminoles. Let's go, Noles. More of a defensive game, but Manny Vaughns did have the 2 touchdowns. Chikiri and Turner played okay. We're really only featuring the one back, and I think the standout is how we were able to completely contain Will Hammond at quarterback, and that seems to be the weakness of this Hurricane team. Well, we've got another tough matchup here on the road. Number 12, Louisville. We've moved up to be the number 3 team in the nation. Of course, we had a tough loss to start the year, but we've really kicked it into gear since then. You can't lose to Minnesota, and yet we did, but they're pretty good this year, 5-2. And since then, we've won out. Louisville's going to be a challenge, though. They went 16-0 and won the national championship last time we talked about them. Here in 2028, they're pretty good again, but not on our level. Ooh, a lot of our young players are starting out ice cold. That's not good. That is not good at all, and that is absolutely wide open. We had a covered player designed to take that away, and he just refused. Oh, that's a great tackle by Rideau. Does Louisville keep the offense on the field? They don't. They're going to try to take the lead here. I imagine they're going to nail it. I'm still worried our linebackers due to pro potential will leave in the offseason. There's a big percentage chance of that we're going to be in the portal looking for linebackers. But we'll see who decides to leave and who decides to stay. I'm kind of thinking that we might lose Rideau, but we'll probably keep Balaj. And this is a really big play. That's a really good ball. Danzy, touchdown. And we've got the lead in the Ville. That's what they call it. I mean, Louisville's moving the ball pretty well. Only 3 points, obviously. But we are having a ton of trouble defending the run. And also a ton of trouble scoring, which is a big issue. And Louisville's now up 10-3. And this is an impossibly long field goal to make for the tie. Or is it? Oh, it's just wide right. Oh, we had everything right. I feel the season crumbling away. I mean, we may not be able to play for an ACC championship if we lose this game. It would only be one conference loss, though. It's not the end of the world. But these sting. I guess beating Miami is really helpful to doing that, but we'll still be in the college football playoff if we win out. You know, you think no matter what. Good pressure. Still in this one. And we're going to block it. It's blocked. It's a huge kick to block. We're going to take over. That was unbelievable. Timed it up perfectly off the edge. Man, we need to score now, though. Time is running out. And the pressure is just relentless here. Stadium's going wild. We can't even get an audible off after getting sacked again. I mean, this is just a disaster. We don't have time for anything. 4th and 21, we need a prayer to be answered. That's what it's going to have to be. We need to get lucky. And I just don't know how we're going to get it. How about that? Trust Chikiri and Turner. That was a gift. Airing it out. We got to go up and get it. Danzy cannot bring it in. The corner got lost, and it didn't matter. Deep shot. Down the field. Jefferson makes the catch. We're down to the 1. Needed it. Absolutely needed it. And we've got to score a touchdown right now. I really don't think 3 is going to be enough. Obviously, I know what that would do to the score. But we need a touchdown. I'm not sure we're going to be able to stop Louisville from scoring, even 3. So, we just can't get it. We can't run the ball. I mean, I know that's a read option. We just keep giving it to the back, but Time's ticking off the board. I thought that would be our best chance to score. Quarterback keeper. Manny Vaughn's touchdown. Okay, we've got life. Come on, defense. Get us the ball back, and they did. 2:28 to play. I honestly think we are in the driver's seat, but this Louisville defense has played well. And, of course, we spin the wrong way. I mean, their defense is unreal right now. 4th and 9. Need something here. We're rolling out. We might have a chance. Unreal speed off the edge. And we're going to lose. Oh, no, we're not. What happened? Missed field goal. We still have a chance. Oh, my God. All right, we've got a minute here. Oh, I kind of did not think that was what that route was going to be. I thought it was some type of out, but he works his way back to the football. I got the routes confused. Samia makes the catch. He continues to be probably our best receiver, I guess. And why are they just committing to the flat? You don't expect them to play the flat in this type of spot. Yet they're playing hard flats. That's crazy. And we've got no timeouts. We've got no timeouts. 3's not good enough. We're about to be in take a shot to the end zone type of territory. Jeez, who's our best bet? Lob to the end zone for Rooks. Go up and get it. Rooks mossed him. Green. We timed it up perfectly and scored the touchdown. Oh my goodness. Timing up your catches might be overpowered. I'm in. Oh my goodness, it's going to result in another big win here. A come-from-behind victory that stuns Louisville. 13 points in the 4th quarter to win it. Manny Vaughn's is your player of the game. What a finish. Well, recruiting hasn't been perfect. We just lost a really good portion of a lot of our prospective recruiting class. Just, you know, big schools coming in, taking these, star players away. And we're getting a lot of hours back, a lot of money back, but at some point, I think you'd rather have the players. And that's tough. Our recruiting class is not big at all right now. You know, you look at the ACC, and we've got 5 commits. But a 5-star, 3 4-stars, going after bigger fish at this point, I think that's probably a good thing. And of course, I simulate the week and we lose to Duke. Man, simulation is so tough. Simulation's so tough. I can't wait to be 7-3 after losing to Georgia Tech. It's gonna be frustrating, but do have some hard commits coming in, and maybe a verbal or 2. But trying to build up that O-line, trying to get, good depth as well. Now we are 8-2, but so is Clemson. The difference, they're number 17 in the nation. We're number 8. So this could be a big swing in the ACC if we lose this game. In fact, losing to Duke already stings. It doesn't end our ACC title chances, obviously, because we've got just the 1 conference loss. But Miami is number 3. SMU's number 5. Clemson's right here. If we lose to Clemson, we might be as good as out of the ACC championship game. That's got to be a touchdown. Chudzinski with the score. We're on top to start, and we have the football back. Okay, this Clemson offense maybe not going to play great today. I'm all about that. Big 3rd and goal for Clemson, though. Going to check down. Pressure gets there. Quarterback completely unaware of Mandrell Desir, who gets his 2nd sack of the game. But they're likely going to put up 3. We've controlled the game so far, 17-3 into the 3rd quarter. Just going to keep leaning on our stars. And I'd like to be able to run the ball. I'd love nothing more. Maybe I'm completely blind, probably so. But man, it just seems like we can't run the ball. So lean on throwing and lean on your passing game. And Manny Vaughn's has played a pretty good game. 200 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. Samia has not been perfect, but has certainly been good enough. And that is another great play by Manny Vaughn's. Danzy with the missed tackle, and another forced miss with the back juke, and he finishes it. Touchdown, Seminoles. What a catch and run by Danzy. A Danzy doozy. And that hopefully will doozy it. And it's raining now, probably after that joke. They're like, we got to dick the sun away. It's a very tough 3rd and 10. We're so far backed up. That's actually kind of a great late release from Ja'Kyrie and Turner. And that could put it away as Manny Vaughns goes over 300. And that is a big, big rivalry win over Clemson that I would hope solidifies us in the ACC title game. We've got one loss, and it's to Duke. Manny Vaughns played the game of his career. We can't run the ball. And is that an offensive line problem? It might be, but Ja'Kyrie and Turner really showed up in the receiving game. Antoine Samia, don't look at the drops, please. He's a freshman. He's allowed to not be good at that yet. Well, not allowed, but we don't like it. But it is what it is. And there is Sharif Leon. Finally a 5-star edge that I think actually will end up where he needs to be, which is at Florida State University. It's been tough, man. And we are in the ACC title game. Final game of the year is against the Gators. Obviously our big rival. We're going to rematch Miami in the ACC championship game. But the rebuild is right on schedule, man. But, of course, Florida's way better than they've been. They're number 9 in the country now. And one of our big goals is to beat the Gators. We didn't do that last year. This year, we've got to do it. So we've got the Gators. They're only an 82 overall. So we've got the distinct advantage here. But this is still a top 10 team in the country. I'm curious, actually, when the last time and how many times that both teams have been in the top 10 and played each other. I know they've been quite good historically, but not always at the same time. And it's quite a task to be, ranked in the top 10. And for two teams to do it and play each other at the same time, probably not that common. Here's 3rd and 10. It's good coverage. There we go. And thanks for the moment. Bring us in just for a 51-yard field goal try. That looks pretty good, though. Our kicker's got 94 kick power. Got a pretty good chance. All right, tough 3rd and 9. I mean, you just got to get rid of it. I just didn't want to throw short of the line to gain, but not what we needed there. But we do have the lead. 3rd and 5 into the second half. Just got to not get beat here. And what are we doing on the outside? It just seems like no matter what happens in this game, it's going to end up being close. What a catch by Danzy. That is a really, really nice play. I mean, he is a 90-something overall. Catching is rated really, really highly on him. So he should be making those catches, but it's nice to see him come down with it. We could take the lead here, 13-10. I think we're going to leave the offense on the field and try to really get into the driver's seat. I feel like if we don't have Turner on a route, we're doing ourselves a disservice. He's so good out in the backfield, and that's where the ball's going to go, and it's going to go into the end zone. Ja'Kyrie and Turner, touchdown. We take the lead here late, and our defense got us the football back. It seems crazy to punt. I know there's a lot of time left, and they have 3 timeouts, but 4th quarter, not a lot of time left. Do you really want to give us the ball and let us go up 24-10? Seems like a mistake. The Gators make it a touchdown game. 1st down will end it, though, and we want more than that. Gators call their final timeout. They can only stop the clock 2 more times. So again, this is pretty much going to do it. It's not set in stone, but now it absolutely will be. Ja'Kyrie and Turner for the 1st. Florida can't do anything. So actually, best case scenario, they do get the football back with, we're going to call a timeout here. Best case scenario, they would get the football back with 20 seconds. All right, here we go. It's going to get into the end zone. It's an unfortunate touchback, but Florida's got 12 seconds, right? 12 seconds to go all the way down the field. I said there's nothing they can do. I mean, this is best case scenario for them. They've forced us to come back out on defense for a play, maybe 2, maybe 1. Sack as Daryl Desir gets there. And we've won the big rivalry game. 10 regular season wins. We finished 10-2, but we also have the ACC Championship. We also have the College Football Playoff. The season's not done yet. And there it is. We knew this was coming. Miami's jumped us. How could Miami possibly be number 2 and us number 3 when we beat them? They have one loss. They have one loss. Okay. That's fair, actually. Okay, so we've got Miami in the ACC Championship game. Our ticket to the College Football Playoff has already been punched. If we lose, no big deal at all. Two really similarly rated teams here. This could go either way. Well, we can't end Miami's season, but we can win our first ACC championship. And I just don't like anything there. But at least we are in position to hit a field goal. 57 yards is a lot, though. But again, our kicker's got a really big leg, so not impossible. Upgrade to the accuracy. That's money. Just sneaking over the bar. But a 3-0 lead here in Charlotte. And it's 10-0 now. Miami on the board with 7. As we approach halftime, we'll try and make it 17-7. 2nd and 5. I was going to say, maybe not a bad idea to take a shot here, but we got Rooks over the middle. And it's not the end of the world if we don't end up winning this ACC championship game, but obviously would really like to. We've got the lead. Definitely don't want to give it up. There's Chikiri and Turner, but we're clearly on the right track. I think that's the big thing. And it really started in the portal. We're really building something with Chudzinski, and he's going to be probably our best option here. We're going to throw it to him. He makes the catch, gets us down to the 1-yard line. Clock's going to be ticking here, but slowly, and I think we can go on top here and extend that lead even more. Obviously, we're already on top. That's open. Touchdown, Chikiri and Turner. Huge. All right, into the 4th quarter. It's 17-14. 3rd and 10. Man, I don't even know what we can do here. It's a tough down and distance. We're going to play the leverage of the DB. Find Jefferson. That's a first. Nice throw for Manny Vaughn's. Good timing. There's the pitch out to Turner. Thought that juke was going to do a little bit more than it ended up doing. And we've got kind of a tough spot here. 3rd and 6. I think we got to look for Chudzinski here. Okay, it's been doing that. Why are we not ready? Here's 3rd and 6. There's Chudzinski. He makes the catch. Stiff arms down inside the 3. But he did get out of bounds, which stops the clock. I'm okay with that. It's not preferred, obviously, but we can still take their timeouts away and score a touchdown. But the touchdown's the big thing. Turner in motion. He's going to get the throw. He's going to break a tackle, and we've got to step into the end zone. Don't want to risk it on 3rd down. Just take the score. 4th and 7, Miami down to their final timeout. But they've got to pick it up first here if they want to continue this game. And they won't. It's picked off by Richard. And that will do it. Florida State here in year 3 under Gene Dengus has won the ACC championship. Doesn't get a whole lot better than this. Or actually it could. Oh no, we're going to Mario Cristobal it. I mean, just let him go. Whatever. Nope. Psych. All right, you got the touchdown anyway. That's the game. Time is up. Why did we let him score? I've got money on the game. It's that simple. I took Miami, minus 4.5 or something. All right. Minus 3.5. 24-21 is your final. We are ACC champions. Manny Vaughn's played well enough, not perfect. And then Chikiri and Turner played fairly well. So ACC champions here. It's not the ultimate goal, but it was a really big goal for us that we were looking to accomplish. Of course, when you get your athletic director goals, it's stuff like beat Florida. Now, it was beat Florida by 3+ this year as we get a 4-star running back, Mike Mann, to commit. We still want to win our conference, right? And, I think that we're obviously going to sign at least one 4-star recruit. We've already done that. Now it's just going to be about the college football playoff success as Chikiri and Turner is your ACC Offensive Player of the Week. We are up to the number 1 team in the country as Tennessee won, USC and Miami both lose. Obviously, we knew about Miami, but USC 57-55 to number 7 Oregon. That only moved up by 1 spot with a win over USC, who was number 1. They should be ranked at least over Ohio State. I mean, for sure. George McIntyre was your 2028 Heisman winner, just a Tennessee commit. And when you check out the season stats, we did quite well. Again, some more season to be played, but Manny Vaughns, 27 touchdowns, only 7 interceptions, 3,000 yards passing. Not a bad year. Ja'Kyrie and Turner over 6 per carry, 1,000 yards rushing, 6 touchdowns. Very nice. Alonzo Rugamba didn't really play a ton, but I think it's clearly going to be his team next year, and he's going to be very good. Antoine Samia was actually our leading receiver. The redshirt freshman performed quite well. Makahi Danzy also with a good season. Darrell Rooks not too far behind. 5 touchdowns for Chud Zinski, Bordeaux's favorite. And defensively, 74 tackles for Percy Ballage led the way. 24 and 23 TFLs for Daryl and Mandrell Desir. Both had 16-plus sacks. It was the entirety of our pass rush production with 2 players off the edge. And then 2 interceptions for Nick Ramos, CJ Richard, Dijon Lee, and Nehemiah Chandler. So not a ton of picks to go around, but definitely a good season. Early National Signing Day should have us with a fairly good class now that we've actually added some quantity to the quality. 2 5-stars in Leon and Hamrick, 5 4-stars, a 3-star, and this 8 number is going to go up a lot more than that, but we're not trying to bring in a class of 20 plus necessarily. I'm keeping a lot of that NIL open so that we can really have a super productive transfer portal, and we will need to look into hiring a new offensive coordinator. The good news is that we have money. Jeff Monken wants to be at Florida State. He's very expensive, though, but is it worth it? I would say, actually, it might be. He's a level 49 architect who is also a master motivator and who also has tactician. So we're going to offer him, because he wants to be here, $445. He's expecting to get a little bit more, but he wants to be here a lot. So that might be enough. And it's going to be Kansas State in the Orange Bowl. I remember back in CFB 25, the only team you would play would be Kansas State. And Jeff Monken has become our offensive coordinator. Perfect timing. Kansas State just stays good. We've got him in the Orange Bowl. Apparently this is heavyweights colliding. News to me. Kansas State is only a 79 overall. This is really our Orange Bowl opponent. All right. Hey, I mean, they got here for a reason, right? Back in college football 25, Kansas State was dominant. They were in the national championship every year, it seemed. And then in college football 26, not so much, but I guess in CFB 27, they're back with a vengeance as we feast our eyes upon maybe the least expensive trophy that there's ever been at this level. It's just a bowl with oranges. I mean, a lot of trophies, you think are rare and expensive and difficult to make. Maybe not difficult to make, but good materials. That's a glass bowl with $12 of oranges in it, and they're going to go bad. That's the only thing that can happen to them. You want to keep the trophy, you can't eat them, and they're going to go bad. But all right, it's neither here nor there. What is here, though, is a chance to move on in the college football playoff. We got the first round bye. We're playing Kansas State, and our offense is, about as bad as you could possibly imagine. And my moment is I get to come on and punt. And it actually looks like a pretty unbelievably good punt. Might not be able to play offense. Might not be able to play defense. But my punting ability, I got a lot of practice, is some of the best of all time. And hopefully we can take advantage. Oh my God, nope. Immediately, huge gain. The problem is the reason why I give up 99-yard runs all the time is in these spots, I try to bring the safety up. I try to play for the safety. try to make the big play in the backfield. And if it doesn't work, you get crushed. High risk, high reward. Our defense is so bad, too. And saying that, we've scored 0 points. Oh, that's going to be a touchdown? Sick. Okay, here's what happens next. We're going to actually get a drive here, because if we don't, we're going to score 0 points and lose the game. Moments is like so hit or miss. There's Chud. Nice gain. Wow, imagine that. We're moving the ball much better. Dude, they're 79 overall. Why are we not simming well against them? It's pressure off the edge. Not a ton of speed from Vaughn's. We're just going to throw it away. Let's not get crazy. Okay, 3rd and 2. We've stalled out a little bit here. And why does this keep happening? You go to snap the ball, and then there's some type of flip. I don't really know what's happening. All right, we'll leave the offense out there. Why would we ever try to make it a one-score game? Yeah, I like that. Leave the offense out there and play with fate. You know what? It's going to work. And Chudzinski. All right. Need a touchdown here. It'll be our first points of the game. We can't get the throw off, really. I mean, I guess technically. It's not what I'm looking for, though. 3rd and 3. Samia in motion. We're going to throw the slant. That's defensive pass interference. 1st and goal on the 1. Jakiri Turner is in there. Our first points of the game here in the 4th quarter. Unfortunately, the offense was not simulating well at all. We stepped in for a drive, and we pretty much systematically marched down the field. Our defense has done well enough, but our offense has been abysmal. Now our defense gets us the ball back, but on the 3-yard line. We've got to go pretty much the length of the field, but we have plenty of time to do it. Just need 97 yards if we want to win this game. 3rd and 3. Don't love anything, but eventually Danzy works open, and we get a little bit of breathing room. Vaughn's has been intercepted in this game. And I guess he doesn't have the highest awareness, so maybe that's a factor in why he doesn't simulate amazingly. That could be, but still has plenty of ability to win it for us. I mean, a shot here kind of seems insane, but we've got a hole, and we couldn't get it to him. Obviously, the offense needs to stay out on the field. I actually don't love an RPO here. Somebody will get open. I promise. Somebody will get open, reading the right side of the field. I cannot believe the coverage was that tight. Great catch by Chudzinski to keep our season alive. Oh, DeMercado's in the game. He's a better athlete, but Manny Vaughn surely is injured. That's not what we want at this point in the game. Our starting quarterback is down. Or just taking a break. Yeah, all right. I don't know if that's really having a lot of dog in you. 4th quarter game-winning drive. The backup quarterback's in. But he is a really good athlete, and he's got plenty of space. DeMercado lowering the shoulder. Touchdown. We're going to take the lead here late. An interception by C.J. Richard gives us the football back. Kansas State can stop the clock. But our backup quarterback comes into the game, and with his athleticism, leads us down the field for the go-ahead score. And then our defense with an immediate stop. Is Kansas State's mascot just a guy in their uniform wearing a Wildcat head? How have I never noticed that? I've seen Kansas State play every year at least once or twice for the last 15 years. That's crazy. And that will do it. I cannot believe how this game went, but we'll take the 14-10 victory. I'm hoping Manny Vaughn is okay, because even though DeMercado did his job, came down the field, ran very effectively, Manny Vaughn is our quarterback. Didn't play all that great in this one, but hey, we'll take it. These guys just don't go away. Miami again in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. You know how difficult it is to beat a team 3 times in the same year, especially when they only have 2 losses on the entire season, and we are both of them? Could be a challenge. All right. Miami for the 3rd time, national title berth on the line. Let's get it done. See, that's a more expensive looking trophy than a bowl of oranges, I guess. Imagine it'd be a bowl of peaches. I actually like the trophy. I'm just talking shit. All right, Manny Vaughn's back out there. He's on fire. He's ready to go. And that is a beautifully layered ball to Chudzinski. Vaughn's on the move. I mean, I really would love for that route to continue across the middle of the field and not slow down so Vaughn has somewhere to go with the football. That would be nice. It's not what ended up happening. A little late on that. And it's dropped. It's too late. We might be in jump ball territory. We're going to be. One-on-one. Can't find it. At least we got 7 on the board. Miami with the ball. That's a great tackle, but it's going to be 4th and short as Cockerill doesn't get it. And Cockerill just came up a little bit short. Inches away, and yes, it matters. Here's 4th and inches. Quarterback keeps it. Quarterback gets it. No, what? Yeah, there's just no way. There's just no way. Get it to Chudzinski. He can't make the catch. We're trying to take the lead here, 14-7. It's all hands on deck. We need that to be caught. That's a great route, though. Going back to the Chud. First down. Shakiri Turner's already played an unbelievable game and will score a touchdown. Like 5 rushes for 125 yards. Just absolutely annihilating the Hurricane defense. We take the lead 13-7. Missed extra point. Okay. It's not where we want to be, but that's not a fumble. And they're back. DeMarcus Compton has 5 for 93. Unbelievable. It's 3rd and 2, 40 seconds to go. They're going to keep it on the ground. Big hit by Rido. Let's call a timeout. Miami's going to get 3 up. There is actually enough time for us to score, I believe. Oh, they're actually going to leave the offense on the field. 4th and 1. They're going to run the football, and they're going to get it. All right. So I guess we helped them out with the timeout, but they've still got to score here. And they're going to. All right, well, there you go. 3rd quarter now. Here's 3rd and 5. Just got to have tighter coverage. Got another opportunity, though. 3rd and 9. I wish Hammond would try us over the middle. Coverage has been pretty good. We kind of left that, though, but it'll be 4th and short. Do they leave the offense out there? They do. I'm going to tell you, they keep pushing their luck. Eventually, they're going to regret it. This is probably a good go-for-it spot, though, but they're not going to get it. We take over, down by 1, need a score. 3rd and 10, ball on the 26. Let's move the chains, please. It's absolutely wide open. It's Samia. Good move. First down for Samia. We need some more of Samia. 3rd and 1. We're going jet touch pass to Samia. He's got speed to the outside. He might have just enough to get there, and he does. Not into the end zone, but he picks up the first down. And hopefully Ja'Kyrie and Turner can punch it across the goal line. He can't. I mean, obviously going for 2 if we get this here. We can't afford to not get it. And we might not get it. Like, the thing is, it looks like there could be open guys instantly, and then suddenly they're not open. And we're going to leave the offense on the field. I understand that we can take the lead with 3. I understand that. Touchdown, Chudzinski. We're going to take the lead, and we're going to go for 2. We're not going to let the CPU go for it and not get it. Same situation as before. Let's just pick it up. Beautiful throw. 21-14. We need that defense. Come on. Defense, please step up. 3rd down and 4. It's really been the quarterback run. And I guess the running back run also that's hurt us. But all of that can be forgiven with 1 stop here. It's an RPO. Richards there. It's going to be 4th and 3. And they punted the ball away. Why are we throwing it away? We have 3 minutes to play. There's no scenario where we should really be throwing it away. We got to find a way to keep the clock moving. And it also would be wise to not snap the ball before you absolutely need to, the way we just did. but we need a first. Miami has called their final timeout. The clock will stop one more time at the 2-minute timeout. And there goes Samia. Nice spin move. There's the first. The clock will tick down to the 2-minute timeout, and Miami cannot stop the clock. Victory formation. And this one is over. Just tick us down to 0, please. Like, why do we have to do this? That should do it. Triple zeros on the clock. FSU has won the Peach Bowl and are going to the national championship for the first time since Jameis Winston was playing quarterback. 21-14 is your final. I mean, our offense is really stalling at times, and our defense is really scaring me at times. But Ja'Kyrie and Turner is getting hot at the right time. 12 for 147, 2 touchdowns, over 12 per carry. Unbelievable. Oh my goodness, it's a national championship rematch. Florida State, Oregon. Now I'm looking at it here. I remember Oregon beat the brakes off of Florida State in this one. I think it was Tony Washington recovered a fumble. So this is an opportunity for Florida State to get vengeance. That's what it is. A chance to get revenge on the team that beat the brakes off of you in the national championship the last time you played in the game. If FSU played in a more recent national championship, I apologize. But that's the one I remember. I don't think they did. All right, let's get it done. FSU, Oregon, everything on the line. I'll throw some alternates out there. I think this shoe duck alternate is so good. It's really one of my favorite uniforms in college football. And college football just only has amazing uniforms. All right, we're going to go with the baby blues here. Okay, national championship. It seems crazy to come out and wear these baby blue uniforms in the Natty, but whatever. We're going for the vibes. We're going for the aesthetic. We're going for the win. Look good, feel good, play good. I think these are probably going to be divisive. I don't know that everyone is going to love these, but these are a pretty good uniform. And hopefully we get a pretty good result here. Let's win the Natty. Manny Vaughn's at quarterback. This is home field advantage. We're playing in Tampa at Raymond James. Yeah, Tallahassee's not incredibly close. It's a lot closer than Oregon is. So let's pick up the win. They have way too many guys. Wide open fumble. Rhino forces it out. Somebody's got to jump on it. And we do. FSU football. What a start. Electric start. Let's capitalize off it. I mean, do we just take a deep shot? Oh, it's 3rd and 6, though. We're going to run. Give us a block. Let's just slide. Let's not be crazy. 3rd and goal. This is just not a good play. Maybe Z-Spot is going to give us some better matchups. I mean, Oregon is really crowding the box, but they don't have a ton in there. Just 7. That's a strong box, but it's not anything crazy. They're not loading it. And that's complete to Danzy. Ball on the 1. I think we do trust the speed. Ragamba into the game. I don't like his pose. He did it last time. He just doesn't seem like he's ready for the ball, but we're going to trust him anyway. And he's going to have the speed to get it. Good blocks on the outside. Touchdown, Rugamba. And we take the lead here to start this national championship. Oregon ties it up. Can't rely on fumbles. We've got 3rd and 8. Receivers really split out wide. And we're throwing it up. And we're not going to get it. It's so tough because you just really can't see who's open with this playbook, with the wide splits. Really brutal. I think we're going to nail this kick, though. And that does get in. And we'll retake the lead, 10-7. But Oregon just keeps on driving. And that's going to end up being a really nice play there for Oregon. We're going to call a quick timeout. I really thought we baited the throw, but I guess the CPU on this difficulty is just way too smart. And they find the open receiver at the perfect time. And this is going to be a touchdown. LaMichael James scores. 3rd quarter, 3rd down. Down by 4. We got to have it. That should be the first. It's going to be. But we don't score. We don't get another moment. We just didn't do anything. Dude, the moment system is so bad. Still. So frustrating. 3rd and 12. In a totally fine position in this game. Allow 3 and you're cooking. That's it. It's good coverage and somehow completed anyway. Oh my God, Chudzinski goes up and gets it. What a play. Oh my goodness. The green timing catches are out of control. Love it. What a catch by Caitlin Chudzinski. There's the pitch. Ja'Kyrie and Turner touchdown. We're tied in Tampa. David Ibarra missed field goal. Gives us the ball back. 3 minutes to win a national championship. Tied at 17. Ja'Kyrie and Turner has been so good for us the entire season, but not having his best game today. And that's not going to help because it's 3rd and 10. And we're going wide splits. I just can't see it, dude. We're going to have to use this camera. I'm going to get a nosebleed just watching it. And we're going to be on the move. We're going to have to check down. I mean, that camera is horrendous. The defense has given us the football back. 1:46 to play. We're rolling out. Trying to get mobile. I feel like that's where we've had a lot of success. Oregon's really good in the box. Like, we have not been able to run the ball at all. 2nd and 1, though. This is where you try it. And that was just not a great way to go, but we do get the first. That's going to be a great throw. We got to catch it. Jefferson brings it down. Oh, my God. Look at Vaughns. What a move. That's got to be a flag, please. 2nd and 9. I mean, we really only need 3. No way they're containing. Gonna have to throw it away. I mean, it's not the worst result. I feel like it's gonna be pretty tough to run the ball to set up a shorter field goal. We just really haven't had success doing that. But it's gonna be the call here. And Oregon's gonna call a timeout. I mean, this is such a tough spot. Obviously, we've got to take the field goal attempts. It's 54 yards, but it's lined up. We got a great kicker, and that's going to be drilled. Please get over. Please get over. It's in. We take the lead inside, what, 20 seconds, 30 seconds? Oh, 31 seconds on the clock. This is for the game. 23 seconds to play. Oregon only needs to get into field goal range. This is where pressure would be great. This is where pressure would be very, very good. That's totally fine. Oregon calls to a final timeout. 17 seconds on the clock. We really can't afford another one of those, though. We need to keep them, short of the 40 or so. That's good coverage, and it's forced to throw away. Oregon also cannot stop the clock. That's important to know. So if they catch it, they're going to have to get down very, very quickly. And here's the deep shot. Get the takeaway. It's intercepted by Ramos. One of our first big recruits is going to win us a national championship. Nick Ramos goes airborne, secures the takeaway, and will bring home a national championship to Tallahassee. First rebuild of college football 27 is a successful one. Nick Ramos with the big pick. Good coverage. Great timing. And a great victory. We're going to run back one more season just to make sure it wasn't a fluke. But if it was, it'd be fine because we won a national championship. I'm okay with fluking into a national championship because at the end of the day, you still won a national championship. You won the Natty. We're bringing it home. What a moment for these guys. Manny Vaughns at quarterback maybe wasn't the biggest impact player, but he's going to end up being your player of the game. And I mean over the course of the season. He played well enough. Our defense at times played well enough. Not perfect. And Ja'Kyrie and Turner was a star. We're about to lose him to the NFL draft. He's got first-round ability. We'll see if that ends up happening. And then it's going to be Rugamba to kind of take over as the lead back and see if we can do it again. Manny Vaughns is only going to get better. How sweet it is. We have won the college football playoff national championship. And we avenge our previous loss to Oregon in real life. So It doesn't really get a whole lot better than that. And now we've got some job security. It feels good. All right, so now we've got to figure out who we're actually going to keep. And Alani Jefferson has to be one that we keep. I mean, he actually looks insane. 96 catching, 91 spectacular catch. Speed's actually pretty good as well. And he's got star dev. He wants to be here, but I guess it's going to cost a lot to keep these guys. Why does he not want to be here now? I'm confused. All right, seems like probably just a visual glitch for some reason. If you back out, I think it fixes it. Yeah, it's just a visual glitch, unfortunately, but it's an annoying one. Well, at least we have the money to pay guys like Emmett Rideau to keep him in town. We don't need to keep everybody. But, I mean, I guess for some reason these guys definitely don't want to be here. Like, we don't even need Chavez Thompson or Zay Thomas probably, or Trey Bell probably. I want to keep some players with higher development traits. And we don't really need to pay Frank Lemon. Like, if he wants to transfer, that's fine. I think we can probably do better at linebacker and spend some more of this money elsewhere. George Hammer thinks he wants to transfer due to playing time. I'll pay to keep him, but his dev traits only impact. So, I mean, it's tough to say how much these guys are even going to develop, but we'll make the right decisions. Just normal dev is so bad for development. I just think we can do better than Frank Lemon. So we're going to let a lot of these guys go, but it's nobody that's ultra impactful. And then in the transfer portal, we can just target linebacker. We still have two really good ones coming back, so we're going to be totally fine. Oh, Kevin Wynn going to go to the NFL. I wish we could have put more money on him to get him to stay. Didn't even think about it. And he has not been persuaded. We still might be okay. Try to keep Artie Speed. I just don't want to give them more money. So we're losing a lot of talent. But Micah Danzy, Makahi Danzy's got a chance to go round one, as does Dijon Lee, Chikiri and Turner, maybe Kalen Chudzinski, Nehemiah Chandler. I mean, we're losing both Mandrell and Daryl Desir. I think our O-line could use some work, but it's okay. And Marquise Witherspoon ended up on the roster. Well, I wish we could have noticed that and given him more money. How did he get here? All right, you know what? Marquise Witherspoon is open to coming back. I mean, I'm down to pay him. We were already down to pay him had I known he was even on the roster, because we lost out on that recruitment earlier. We could use a linebacker. Obviously, we need corner. And like, we could go out and get a big-time receiver. That's a possibility. We know we're going to need tight end, whether they say so or not. And, I mean, this could be our shot to get a good one. Or Addison Lawson looks okay. And we do need a receiving back, so maybe Joanne Turner. So we'll see how much it ends up impacting things, but I've gone into coach skills here and unlocked even like master motivator we can now have, but we're going to get the big offseason training boost. But I've unlocked defensive back transfers are more interested. So I don't know if that's like from the start or if it impacts when you're actually going after them, because even though we've got some decent enough depth to start, you know, a bunch of the required number of defensive backs, they're not really as good as they were. Like, we lost Nehemiah, we lost Dijon, we lost Mustard. That's different. But we don't really have that top-end talent. So we're going after some of the portal. Cameron Cush is a blazer. Check out this speed, 91. Actually quite good for a corner. The cover skills aren't great, but I imagine because he's the number one corner in the class and a freshman, he probably has at least star, if not elite development. And a number of these corners can really play. And because they are transfer players, they're going to get off-season XP. And like Vernon Woodward can play right away. So it's going to take these guys up a level. And I feel like maybe even it might be better to just give up on Dalton Mastrud here, because I don't know if we want Dalton playing cornerback for us. But if we go in and sign like a veteran DB who can actually play, the boundaries are typically slow, but if Omari Jones can run, he's going to end up being, you know, a player we definitely feel comfortable starting. But he looks pretty good. 99 change of direction as well. This could be a guy that ends up heading to Ohio State, though. But if we just pay him a ton of money, Ohio State may not be able to compete. I am worried about the pipeline, but if we go after a vet DB that we can upgrade through offseason training, I think we're going to come out and start a really, really good team next year. It should be even better than this last team that we threw out there. So we'll see what the class ends up looking like, but I'm currently feeling pretty good about it. And we do seem to be in a pretty good position for a lot of the transfer players I'm going after. Not all of them, but in a pretty good position overall. We'll reevaluate in this second week and, you know, take some players off and go after some players a little bit more. But I see no reason to not go after Omari Jones. Might be a little bit of a battle against Penn State, but we're just going to spend more money, and hopefully that ends up being the difference. And that's actually going to be the 5-star hard commit from Cameron Cush instantly. That is a big-time upgrade at corner, and Vernon Woodward will join. So we really need to go out and get a couple of good corners. We've just done that. We have absolutely just done that. Even one at the high school level, too. That's not going to matter as much, but this is already a really good portal class. We're going after a 4-star running back, the number 3 running back in the portal. He's a backfield threat, so I figure there's going to be some good receiving ability here. Generally don't even scout these guys because there's not a point, but he looks really good even as a regular running back. So I keep hoping that Haslam will end up on our team, even though our playing style is not there, so we're keeping him aboard. And then I think we can end up getting Sharif Blade. I think we can. So I did want to go out and add a receiver, and I think he would be a good one to add. Needed more depth at tight end and more talent at tight end, and Brock Schott certainly is that. And I was hoping for a lot on the offensive line. We're doing okay there. We're doing okay. It's not the best that I've ever seen, but I think it's going to be better than it was last year, and that should be the mark every single year, right? Make your team just a little bit better than it was last year. We're out of NIL, but Leon Grubbs would be really nice to add, and still feel like he might be headed to Oregon. Obviously, we're gaining on them, but we just had the visit, so makes it a little bit tougher, but it should mostly be a pretty incredible class here. We might be able to make like one last-ditch effort and bring in a tackle with Matthew Makovica, and could have a better chance of landing just one of those guys. Probably don't want the competitive visit and just settle for the complimentaries. And the guy who needs the visit the most is definitely Frederick McCourt. We've got defenders coming on the 3rd week, so we'll see what happens. I'd love to improve our offensive line. We have that center. I'd love to get Marquise Witherspoon back. I think he's going to be, and he should develop like crazy. He's got star dev. He's in a really good position there. And again, I just think this class is going to end up being phenomenal. Maybe this is enough to get Pierre Foster to flip over Oregon. We're about to find out. And then again, corner looks very good. Omari Jones would be the cherry on top. We'll see how possible that actually is. Like, it'll be a good test here because Fortunato as well, a very talented safety. Good speed, coverage is okay for sure. Almost looks like a corner. Like probably would be quite a good corner. We got a week 3 visit. That might be enough to jump Tennessee, and then we might be able to boat race them to the hard commit. I don't know. Like, that's a possibility. Because this is not something I have a ton of experience with, you know, I'm open to finding out what's going to happen. Like, the first rebuild of the year after we've won a national championship is certainly a good time to take chances and kind of see what you have. And there is Omari Jones, also at a tackle as well. And, of course, we're going to have hard commits now with the verbal. But Marquise Witherspoon is back. I'm really excited to see how he's going to develop. Pierre Foster is back at well. So we're going to have 3 really good linebackers. We get Joanne Turner to get a good 1-2 punch at running back again. And, of course, we add talent and depth in the secondary. We lose Fortunato. Just instantly hard commits, even with the visit coming up. That's tough, but of course, now we can take that opportunity to take some of these guys off the board and get more players in our class, which is already 7th in the nation with 5 stars factoring in the transfer portal players. So I'm feeling pretty good about our chances. Yeah, we didn't get everybody. Like, I think we could use maybe another tackle now and certainly another safety, but corner looks incredible. And now Blade is worried about playtime? How is that possible? Okay, this is the best box specialist I've seen. Jaden Blair actually has quite good speed, and typically these guys do not. That's like their big problem. But a lot of these portal players are not really getting offers here, and we don't really need a ton of good safeties. I was just looking for like one or, you know, two at the most, but we're going to end up having an insane secondary. And we do get Brock Schott. That's nice. Ooh, Makovica as well. I thought that was maybe up in the air a little bit. Frederick McCourt as well is a really big transfer portal player. This is going to end up being obviously the best class that we've had so far. Eric Martin was somebody we added late because I thought we could use a little bit more depth and certainly somebody a bit older at defensive tackle. Sharif Blade from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho does end up committing, even with the weird like playtime thing, even though he's going to end up being our main guy. Lost a couple of receivers we added late. Some have yet to make decisions, but overall, that's an incredible class. National Signing Day is probably going to have us competing for the number 2 or 3 class in the country, and it is number 3 with 27. Just, you got to kill the portal, and we absolutely did that. Okay, so let me show you the upgraded team prior to what should be this final season here. We'll go in the actual roster. Manny Vaughns is playing up to an 87 overall at quarterback. Of course, it's nice to recruit some of these guys, but this video is not going to go on forever, right? Juwan Turner is playing up to an 88. Rugamba is not too far behind. And then at wide receiver, Sharif Blade only came to us at like an 84 overall, but is now a 92. Antoine Samia and Daryl Rooks are playing to a 91. Tight end is looking very good, especially with Caesar Cheeseman, the former athlete turned tight end. And in this game, like 211 pounds is not light for a tight end. Like especially these younger players, they're going to come in light. The vertical threats are like 200 pounds. It's kind of crazy. And then at left tackle, we're looking pretty solid overall. This is the best the offensive line has been, and Brady McRoy's playing up to a really high level. Sean Poirier is pretty good as well. And then Frederick McCourt, who we grabbed in the portal, is looking very, very nice, playing up 2 overall points to an 88. George Hammer's at an 80, only a redshirt freshman. So for someone with a lower dev trait like impact, he's still looking pretty good, paying him a lot, as we are with Marquise Witherspoon, who is up to an 83 now, but only a redshirt freshman. So sky is the limit for him. Very good athlete, now getting better at rushing the passer. We have good depth and talent at defensive tackle. And then linebackers, really, I would say one of our best position groups on the entire team. Looks very strong overall, but those guys don't get a ton of skill points. Corner is very solid, including Antonio Cromartie Jr. Can't believe I didn't even notice him the first time around. And then safety actually looks great with Nick Ramos leading the way. So it's got us at a 95 overall. That's pretty good. And I've also turned auto recruiting on, so you guys are going to see how bad that is. As Juwan Turner is a preseason All-American. So at week 12, we are 8-2. That's doing fairly well. The team in auto recruiting actually did go after some 5-stars, which I think is interesting. I feel like in the past they didn't even go after them. However, they have done a really poor job of getting anybody. 0 commits. But in a position to play for the ACC championship again. Looks like maybe Clemson this time. Maybe Miami could get in there. We'll see. Still some weeks left. We're not even necessarily in there. And we are going to be in there. Finishing the season 9-3. Honestly, that's not simulating too badly, I would say. Miami ends up taking another conference loss. Clemson beat us already by 2, and we lost to Notre Dame and Florida. Dude, these rivalry games are just different. Dude, we're a 95 overall, though. Let's just steamroll them, please. Well, this is not the start we were looking for. We're down 14-3 now, 21-3, 28-3. Well, that is bad. And that's actually enough to end our season. We dropped to 19. College football playoff aspirations are over. Manny Vaughns had a great season, though. 34 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions, over 4,000 yards passing. The running game wasn't quite what it was last year, but not awful, just not all that good for the college level, as Daryl Rooks commanded most of the attention. He dominated. Sharif Blade and Antoine Samia were both very, very good, though. And then defensively, a lot of tackles for Rideau and the transfer PR Foster. 25 TFLs for Jamin Pinkney. 16 sacks. Eric Martin had a good season as well. There's Marquise Witherspoon. And Emmett Rideau led with interceptions. Had 3 of them. And Nick Ramos only 2. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hopefully the rebuild process gets a little bit cleaner as we go through the year. And I will see you in the next one. Take it easy.